don't want to meet, but if
I don't want to meet. That guy's a pedophile. Got him. True.
I'd be honored to meet him. I'd like to see.
I'd be honored to meet him, bro. We might Maduro that guy.
But if we make a deal,
We might Maduro that guy.
I'd be okay with that.
That happened here in the U.S. White
Oh,
House.
I haven't really.
How you doing, buddy? Huh?
I didn't suggest it, but
You having a good day?
if it happened, it would be happened. I'd be respectful.
I'd be respectful. You know, I murdered his father. I'd be respectful.
His dad and his wife and his kid.
Oh shit.
He's got hard feelings and wouldn't want to meet.
I can't believe the reporter actually asked that. You know, you did kill his father and children. So would that make things like awkward?
Well, I would say I'm not his favorite person, but with that being said, he's probably a professor. I don't know. He's probably a professor.
Oh God.
In some circles, he has a very good reputation. Actually, you know, sometimes some people say bad, but a lot of people say bad about me. It's totally false, of course.
Mr. President. Sure. Yeah, so anyway, Mr. President, yeah, I can imagine I'm not his favorite person. Yeah, probably not, Mr. President. Probably not. Now, yesterday, the Donald tweeted this. Yesterday, in a meaningless vote, the House voted for bad Republicans and all of the Democrats, gay, all of them. They're all gay. They're gay and retarded. To limit my war powers right in the middle of the final negotiations to end the war with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Who would do such an unpatriotic thing? They know where the negotiations stand. The Democrats are fueled by Trump derangement syndrome. They would rather have our country fail than give another of many victories to the four Republicans. That's a whole other story. They're grandstanders. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're also gay. They're gay like the Democrats. Yeah, so the Donald roasted these guys, and rightfully so. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want on the war, whether we should have gone to war, we shouldn't have gone to war. Personally, killing terrorists is a pretty good use of my tax dollars, if you ask me personally. I'd rather use my tax dollars to kill terrorists that are directly trying to build nuclear weapons and kill us, and have also killed thousands of Americans. I would way rather my tax dollars go to that than, I don't know, which happened yesterday. The Ukraine Support Act just passed, 226 to 195. 18 Republicans supported the bill. Oh, yes! This is a bill for $9 billion to Ukraine, by the way. I would way rather spend $9 billion blowing up the terrorists that are trying to actually kill us in Iran than giving them to Ukraine so that war can go on for even longer. I just want to make it clear that every single person that opposes the Iran war but voted for funding Ukraine to the tune of billions of dollars, every single one of those people are absolute hypocritical retards that hate our fucking country. That's it. That's where we're at right now. You have to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Every Democrat voted, except for one, voted to give money to Ukraine. Every Democrat voted against obliterating a terror threat to our nation in Iran. Like, it makes it pretty obvious. The only person who did not actually vote to give money to Ukraine, ironically, was Ilhan Omar. And that's not because she actually cares about our money, obviously, because she is in the fraud capital of the country. It's because she actually sides with Russia, because that's where the Islamist retard alliance shows up. She is calling to send aid to Somalia, of course, but not to Ukraine. But again, these people are all hypocrites. All right, you have to understand exactly what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a war against feudalistic gay retards. Each one is their own little ethnic enclave or little fucking retard politics that they're trying to assuage their people by being completely retarded. So just to understand, the Democrats all vote to give billions of dollars to Ukraine, but they all vote against killing terrorists that are trying to kill us. And not only that, but they're doing it in the middle of peace negotiations. Like, if Trump would listen to this, which he won't, let's be honest, this isn't going to go anywhere. It's obviously going to get shut down in the Senate. And even if it doesn't get shut down in the Senate, Trump is just going to veto it. Nothing's going to happen. This is all performative. It's a waste of our tax dollars that these retards can get together with the most feminized institution of all time, the federal government, so that they could sit together and be like, okay, guys, let's write strongly worded letters together about our condemnation and our moral grandstanding about different situations. Let's cuck our entire nation in order to morally grandstand against Donald Trump killing terrorists in Iran. Right? You have to understand the level of evil we're actually dealing with. Now, there is no reason to give money to Ukraine, but not to support the war with Iran. Just to be clear, there is no logical reason whatsoever. Funding Ukraine is a charity. It absolutely does not benefit our nation whatsoever in any way possible. Zero beneficial gain from giving money to Ukraine. Obliterating the terrorists in Iran that have killed thousands of Americans to kill us and have also massacred 40,000 of their own people and attacked all of our allies like Kuwait and Bahrain and Israel and Jordan and Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Yeah, that actually does benefit us. So anyone that's for this, but against that, is obviously playing partisan politics. Honestly, they're doing it with our dollars and with our lives. And fuck them. I'm really glad you were here for my opinion, my blue opinion on all the things. So they were trying to get these guys in Congress. They were roasting them. They were trying to get them to cough up why actually the Iran war is bad, because killing terrorists is obviously a bad thing. Now, you are not ready for what you're about to hear. This might be one of the most embarrassing things ever.
Recently, President Trump proudly claimed that he doesn't think about Americans' financial situation.
Just to be clear, that's a lie. The quote is taken out of context regarding Donald Trump saying it would be more financially beneficial to avoid the Iran nuclear threat than to wait for them to actually have nuclear weapons. So even if gas prices are higher right now in America for a couple of months, it will be overall way better than actually letting them have nukes so they could shut down the Strait of Hormuz forever and there would be nothing we could actually do about it. That's the actual sentence. And she's like, oh, he doesn't care about Americans' finances. So just understand how the left lies, because they don't actually believe in honesty or words or values at all. Anyway, Mrs. Chu, a foreigner, she's probably a Chinese spy. I don't say that because I have evidence. I'm just saying that because she's Chinese and she's in our government.
When it comes to the war with Iran. So I want to ask you, Secretary Bessent, do you agree with President Trump that you also do not care about Americans' financial situations?
So she states a lie, and then she asks him if he disagrees with the president, but that's not something the president ever said. Just to be clear.
Congresswoman, who was the president during World War I?
Oh,
Can you...
No,
Are you refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm asking, who was the president during World War I?
I don't know, but...
Get these foreigners out of Congress! Get these foreigners out of Congress! We do not want them here! You are not American! Oh my God! Are you serious? This is embarrassing, by the way. This is humiliating. Humiliating that she is a representative of our nation.
You know who the president during World War I was.
So you're gonna have these retards in Congress that are not American in any way aside from with paperwork lecture us on our policies and our politics and our morals. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna grandstand those pieces of shit, dude. Oh my God. Holy, that wasn't even the point he was trying to make. He wasn't even trying to make that point.
Let me
So
tell you.
I'm clearly getting the idea that you do not want to answer whether you agree with President Trump that you do not care about Americans' financial situations.
President Trump does care about Americans' financial situation.
Well, he actually said that he doesn't.
Well, actually,
that
that's
is
not
a
true.
truncated thing, like everything is.
It's just right. Look how tired he is. It's Democrat fatigue. It's a truncated thing like everything is. True. He said that he doesn't care about Americans' financial situations in the context of it would be way worse if they had nuclear weapons, and then our financial situation would be absolutely fucked, because we would have to go to war against a much more powerful nation that had absolute control over the Strait of Hormuz. So compared to that, the financial crisis, in air quotes, because it's still better than Biden's economy, the financial crisis today is from a perspective of they might have nuclear weapons that fucking kill all of us, and relatively irrelevant.
That he is future-proofing, because I can tell you, Americans' financial situations would be devastated if Iran got a nuclear weapon and there was a permanent shutdown of the flow of energy out of the Middle East.
Well, then let me ask you, was your prediction...
I promise you that
I'm taking my time back.
I will
Was
promise
your
you that
prediction...
President Woodrow Wilson, who was president during World War I, that the Germans did not attack us. That he got into that. It was
Or
a
you're
war-
not answering the
it was a
question,
war
so
of
let me ask this.
Right. So these non-Americans who do not have American values, who for some reason are in our government, are going to lecture us on why we are doing things wrong according to the American values that she makes believe exists. The idea that we're not allowed to get into a conflict that wasn't directly inflicted upon us preemptively is retarded, it's gay, it's fake, and I do not whatsoever believe in this ideology. I firmly stand with Woodrow Wilson for fucking up the Germans in World War I before we were directly attacked. I firmly stand with President Donald J. Trump for killing the fucking terrorists that have been trying to kill us for years, for 47 years. And my stance is very simple in this regard. You kill them before they kill you. Yes. And you can scream about international law, which is fake and gay anyway, and war crimes, which aren't really a real thing, because international law and war crimes and Geneva Conventions and all this shit, it was invented by weak people to control strong people. That's what it is. The strongest guy in the room doesn't need to come up with war crimes, because that guy doesn't need, he doesn't care if the enemy tries. He'll just fucking obliterate them. It's made by weak, limp-dicked, mostly European cucks, all right, that are gonna sit there and with their feminoid nonsense be like, well, actually, you're not actually allowed to win wars anymore. You only have to completely cut yourself out to the terrorists. No, the terrorists are allowed to do terrorism. They're terrorists. But you're not allowed to fight back because of this piece of paper that I have signed by the Great Duke of Zimbabwe, all right? Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Now, again, tiring. But this was a slaughter. Now, the president, Donald J. Trump, dropped bombshells on Cuba.
Care of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And as soon as that's done, on our way back, we'll just make a little brief stop off.
Parkour!
We'll take care of it. We want to help them out. Look.
Listen, we are humanitarians. Grass has a life like people.
We have a lot of people that voted for Trump. Whether they did or not, it didn't matter. But I had 95% of the Cubans voted for me. They're unbelievable people. They're energetic. They're entrepreneurial. You know, some of the richest people in Miami are Cuban. They're unbelievable. And I'm going to take good care of them. I'm going to let them go back to their land.
That's right.
Go back with family. You know, they have a lot
That's
of
my
family.
guy. That's right. Liberating every country in the world except for America, because the Democrats are honestly more dastardly and evil than the Islamic Republic of Iran sometimes. I'm obviously being hyperbolic, but this shit's crazy.
They've been treated very badly by Cuba. But we're going to treat Cuba well, and we're going to let our people go back.
That's
and
right.
Let them invest in Cuba if they
On the way back, and that's how it works. We have our guys. They're already deployed. They're out there in front of Iran. Not sure if we'll make a deal or if we'll blow them up. Regardless, on our way back, we'll make a short pit stop.
So we have
Liberate Cuba from the
some very
commies.
good plans for Cuba. You know, we have to get rid of the regime was very tough, very nasty. The difference is now they don't have money coming in. They had a lot of money coming in from Venezuela. They don't have any money coming. They had oil coming in. They had money coming in. But we're going to take care of Cuba.
Mr. President, sir.
And they, you know what? They want us to. The people want us there so bad.
That's right. And the people of Iran are the good guys, and they're the bad guys, and therefore it's good that we win. And it's
Where's
good
the
that they
cop?
lose.
There's
And yeah, it's not
usually a
hypocritical,
lone
okay?
cop
Hey,
that wanders around by himself.
You're such a hypocrite because you want us to have nukes, and you don't want them.
I
to
want
have
to take
nukes.
his
Yeah,
gun.
The good guys, and they're the bad guys. So yes, I like when the good guys are strong, and I like when the bad guys are not strong. You're such a hypocrite. You're such a hypocrite. So Rubio dropped the nuke on Cuba. For decades, Cuba's been the world capital of the radical left-wing terrorism. The regime in Havana has recruited, trained, and backed violent Marxist, third worldist movements.
All right,
across
I
our
better get
hemisphere
some
and
weed
beyond.
growing.
Today we are targeting the network that enable and funds
And then I'll run
subversive
around
and radical
looking for a
operations.
cop to kill.
Pursuant to sanctions, authorities created by President Trump's groundbreaking Cuba executive order, I am designating the following entities. Oh, dude, this is so good. Ministry of Revolutionary Armed Forces of Cuba, Cuban Institute of Friendship with Peoples, Amistor Cuba, Committees for the Defense of the Revolution, Minera La Victoria. Anyone providing services to these sanctioned actors is at risk of sanctions themselves. Foreign banks, other companies that provide services to these entities should freeze those activities. The Trump administration will no longer tolerate radical Marxist regimes in our hemisphere seeking to threaten U.S. national security and engage with influence operations to export their poisonous and evil, quote, revolution to our country and around the world. Hassan Piker is going to jail! Assad Piker is going to jail! Dude, I love how they like make these like fucking terror organizations and then they call it the Cuban Institute of Friendship with Peoples. No, we don't fucking care about your titles. Your woke ass, gay ass, commie ass titles. Alright, none of that shit matters. Your words are irrelevant. You're gonna fucking die. Yeah, I'm a good man. I am a good man, actually. And a lot of people don't think that, and that's because they're gay. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. Actually, toppling communist regimes is exactly what Luffy would do. Isn't that right, Hassan? Dude, just absolutely diabolical. You thought Rubio was done cooking for the day? Oh, not even close. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call of Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated. On June 4th, the world marks 37 years since the Chinese Communist Party ordered its troops to attack thousands of peaceful demonstrators in and around Tiananmen Square. Those who sacrificed to uphold their unalienable rights of free expression and peaceful assembly will be vindicated someday. Bro is dropping bombs on China. Holy shit, I'm holy. Bro's been cooking. Marcus Rubius, first of his name, will be the next president of the United States, very likely. I'm not even gonna lie. This is insane. This is absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. He's not scared at all. Everyone's terrified of China. Honestly, even Trump is a little bit, hesitant to insult China. And I get it. It's for negotiation purposes. But the moral clarity from Marcus Rubius is astounding. Now, Marcus Rubius, he was in Congress also. And the whole thing was a shit show. I wasn't even going to show it. Someone made a top-5 compilation. The worst crash outs from Secretary Rubio's hearing. And just understand, they have nothing on this guy. They cannot defeat him. He is Democrat poison, all right? You can't do the Trump derangement syndrome shit for Rubio, because Rubio's just on it.
Not once did you mention Ukraine when you were prioritizing the achievement that's there. Now let me go on.
Tried to stay under
Let me
5
go
minutes.
on. Oh, you tried to stay. Yeah, please.
If I
It's
can
not
answer
funny.
that.
It's not funny, Secretary. Now,
What's not?
You didn't even mention Ukraine. You didn't do a land acknowledgement for the Native Americans.
in Iran now.
Well, you don't.
In Iran
you
now.
can't even
I
answer
reclaim
questions
my
here.
time. I reclaim my time.
Yeah, I warn you right now. I don't do yes or no answers.
Yeah,
So if
well,
you- would
I
you
only
just
have
complex
5
questions?
minutes. I know when
Well,
you
so
were
do
the
I.
senator, you know
I
about
never
this
did yes or
business,
no answers.
and I know you're trying to go out so that you can run out my 5 minutes. That's a simple
I'm gonna
question.
run out your 5 minutes. You're running out your 5 minutes.
And just like you couldn't admit that the shoes the president bought you were too big, you clearly don't know what winning means. And not because
This is about the Iran war, by the way. This is about the Iran war. Your shoes are too big. Okay.
the facts are unclear to you, it's because telling the truth would cost you your job. And the American people are entitled to a Secretary of State who tells them the truth even when the president doesn't want to hear it. And my constituents, our service members, deserve better. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Bro, we still electing women? Damn.
I don't know what shoes she's talking about. What is she talking about?
Hi, Jack.
I
Come on.
reclaim my time because propaganda ain't going to work with me.
Well, it isn't going to work with me either, and what you're saying is propaganda. One of the aid flow into Hamas's hands.
Reclaiming my time. The aid was
Here we
held
go with
up at
reclaiming
the
our
border
time.
by Israel, and
You
you
got to
know
fix
it.
the rules here. You can't even answer a question.
And giving contracts with no transparency
Can I
is
borrow your
exactly
time
the
to
reason
answer?
why you shut down USAID. So practice what you preach. I yield back.
USAID has nothing to do with Rubio, by the way.
To scream now too?
Why is she leaving? I'm going to answer her questions.
She screams at him, says something completely irrelevant, and she leaves.
I will.
She leaves.
Oh, okay, I got it. Well, thank you for coming.
Bro, it's just miserable. It's honestly insane. It's one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Now, my favorite thing is watching leftists who have zero actual moral relativism whatsoever. They don't understand basic moral principles at all. So they all got together to do this debate. All right, they got these three leftoids ganging up on this guy and this Will Chamberlain fellow. And honestly, it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. All right, it really was.
But I want to answer the sort of 2 points you highlighted from that clip that seemed sort of, I think, kind of bizarre and poorly founded. One argument was apparently that because 200 children died, that therefore the war is a disaster. Well, then, if that's the metric we're using, why is it not a disaster that we didn't intervene and save the 40,000 people that were murdered by the Iranians prior to the war? And then
So wait, can I respond to that? Can I respond to that directly?
Sure.
Why would it not, if civilian death is disastrous as it relates to the Islamic Republic of Iran killing their own people, why would it not be disastrous for the United States to also kill Iranian civilians?
It's sad when people die, but there are casualties in war. Again, I feel like we're dealing with absolute babies. We're dealing with actual babies that don't understand any form of principled thinking. I'm not even gonna lie with you. Not all death is equal, obviously. And by that I mean, if you kill someone in self-defense, or if you just decide to murder someone in the subway like Irina Zarutska, obviously those two instances involved someone dying, but obviously there was no moral equivalency there. So too, Iran massacring 40,000 of their own people because they are actual fascist pedophiles, all right, is unimaginably worse and horrible in every possible way compared to Donald Trump actually having a war against a power that's trying to kill us, where collateral damage happens by accident. You can't possibly compare these things, but in the leftoid mind, none of they support aborting babies, all right? They support killing babies in the womb. All right? I'm not going to expect them to have some sort of moral grandstandy opinion here.
If you acknowledge that civilian deaths...
Well, then, because we would theoretically be saving more, because the collateral damage would be less than the number of people we'd be saving from being murdered by their own regime, obviously.
Except our military intervention has killed 1,700 Iranian civilians.
That sucks. They shouldn't have been doing terrorism. The Islamic Republic shouldn't have been doing terrorism. What am I supposed to say? According to this guy, you should never, ever, ever engage in any form of defensive war whatsoever, because there might be casualties, so therefore, you are just as bad as they are. I don't know what happened to, like, young men that left their testicles in the past generation, but this is actually just sad. This is sad and humiliating.
We haven't saved anyone.
Oh, so we're only 5% of the way there in the same time.
So your standard is as long as we kill under the amount that the Iranian government has killed of their own people.
I didn't say that.
No, obviously collateral damage in war is not morally equivalent to massacring your own people. I love how he doesn't understand that. Like, the left is just a master at taking words and just making believe they don't even know what the words mean.
We must.
I think 5%
this must be a moral and just war.
It's dramatically less, right? And that's also not counting over time the thousands of Americans that have died at the hands of the Iranian regime over the last 30 years.
So why exactly is that a standard, right? If we acknowledge that civilian deaths...
Well, no, this is your standard. You're the one who said it was a disaster because 200 civilians died.
Yes, civilians that otherwise would have been alive.
Okay, so 40,000 civilians died in the interim. Why was it not a disaster that we let that happen?
It was a disaster we can say that it was a disaster that happened. But there's no evidence that our military intervention could have actually saved those people, because considering the fact we've now engaged militarily with Iran, we've engaged militarily.
We just have to let the Iranians murder everybody they want.
Putting aside, all right, hang on one second.
And then it just becomes a clown show, essentially. But watching the pandering is insane. Bro stutters through explaining how actually it's morally equivalent that there was collateral damage by accident in a war that was started because
why
they
did I only get one
threatened us
bag?
And killed thousands of our people, and them massacring 40,000 of their own
Damn
people
it.
while they shut off the internet so no one could hear them scream. This is the leftist mind. They have zero moral values that they could actually stand on. Murdering your baby in the womb, that's a good thing. Killing a terrorist pedophile, holy shit, that's a war crime. You should be impeached. Literally, every time. Now, of course, Candace Owens goes to Russia and does press interviews in Russia because she is literally, in my opinion, a foreign agent. I'm really glad that we have our representatives in Russia explaining to the Russians why America should not be backing Ukraine. I don't know if this is treason, but this is fucking insane.
A lot of conversation, I certainly I've been having on my podcast, and Americans are really getting tired of funding, not knowing where money is going, learning that oligarchs are buying yachts. So we think about it at a practical level in terms of our taxes and where our money is going, which is never quite explained.
Now, the truth is, she's right, and I agree with her in this regard. She's not right about everything. She thinks that Jews invented dinosaurs to trick Christians into thinking that God is fake. Okay, so call a spade here. She is right. Americans are tired of not knowing where our money is going. We are tired of funding all these foreign wars that we have nothing to do with, that don't benefit us whatsoever. But I'm not going to fucking Russia to do press conferences to explain to the Russians how America is tired of the American government. What the fuck is this?
But beyond that, we're trying to focus on a lot of home issues.
Like, that's crazy. I don't know how people find this absolutely insane. So she does a Moscow propaganda tour, and then she is explaining to enemy media, giving statements as to why we should not be helping Ukraine. What? Now, again, she's not the brightest, all right? She calls herself an isolationist, as you know, because she doesn't want to fund foreign things. So I'm glad we should be able to hear it from her mouth.
I don't want you to make friends. I want a person who's going to be out there saying, we're going isolationalist, okay?
Isolationalist, ladies and gentlemen. She's just an isolationalist. That's her politics.
I don't care about women marching in the streets, so that all of our politicians just oblige them. And yeah, so if we're gonna do it, like if we're gonna do the thing, and we're gonna say we're not gonna be isolationists, a lot of
Americans, we're not isolationists, guys.
Americans feel depressed by that because we're just...
And Russia was like, yes, we are going to fund this one.
Going, when are we allowed to just be isolationists? Right? When are we allowed to focus on what's happening here?
She's actually fucking stupid. She's like retarded.
The isolationist. The isolationalist.
Bro, that's miserable. That's actually bad. But hey, at least she didn't mispronounce any words while she was in Russia, right? Not like she mispronounced Moscow, right? There's no way she mispronounced Moscow.
But I was in Moscow, and Moscow was positively stunning. It defied... I didn't really have any expectations, but if I had any, they would have been defied by just how clean, how safe.
Yeah, so while she's doing propaganda for Russia, she's also talking about how Moscow is beautiful. It's like Costco, except it's like Costco for Muslims, so it's Moscow. I hope you understand. All right, now here's another one of our retards funded by Russia, allegedly. Buckley Carlson, Tucker Carlson's brother. It's pretty weird how they have so much in common.
And obviously the similarities between Americans and Russia, we could go on and on about this, and I'm certainly...
What? No, what?
Happy to, but just the fact that it is a primarily white Christian country, which has been...
You mean like all of Europe? Why Russia specifically, sir?
Made an enormous contribution on the world literature and architecture, and it has a very resilient people who value life, I would say.
Russia values life? Yeah, it's not how I would describe Russia in, like, if I had to in like one sentence.
They've had a lot more hardship than we have in America, but again, they have a leader who represents their interests, and they respond to that leadership. And I wish we had it here, but they're not our enemy. And again, it's not a unipolar world anymore. It's not just America. We can't dictate what goes on. We have to...
Like, this is insane that we have all these guys that are just actual commie Russia shills everywhere. Now, I'm really glad we're shilling Russia. Let's see what Putin had to say about our conflict with Iran.
Final answer to this question. But there is no doubt that the people of Iran has proven that its interests should be taken into account.
Wrong! The people of Iran fucking hate the Islamic regime that's been torturing them for 47 years. All right, you get cheap weaponry from Iran, okay? So they're your little jihadi allies, right? That's why you're supporting them. The people of Iran hate Iran. All right, this guy, who's an Iranian, by the way, I'm pretty sure, says one of the most stupid things Vlad said this week. The people of Iran are not fighting America and Israel. Vlad's Islamic occupying friends are the ones fighting the West. Which is obviously true, if you actually pay attention. Now, Hezbollah terror chief Naim Qassem rejects the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon. What? But I was told that Israel's the one that keeps rejecting the ceasefire. So, of course, Israel says they'll continue operations in Lebanon because they keep getting bombed, right? Every single day, there's more missiles. And the UN decided they're going to step up. A UN peacekeeper died early this morning from critical injuries sustained when mortar shells struck his position near Marjayoun, southeastern Lebanon. Who fired the mortar shells? Israel doesn't fire mortar shells. Of course, the UN terrorist supporters, they don't stop. It's this whole long thing. Tragically, the guy died, yada, yada. They never say who did. Impressive title. Very nice. Who shot the mortar? It was Hezbollah. So Hezbollah terrorists murdered a UN peacekeeper, and we don't actually have any information about that here. In fact, the UN is just out here condemning Israel. Like, bro, stop. Right? It's like, I feel like it's this every single day on social media. If you can't free the Palestinian prisoners, then do not remain silent about them. 2.4 million views. No, the poor Palestinian prisoners. No. Oh, never mind. This is just a post from 2019, actually. This is the humiliating end of the caliphate because Daesh terrorists were facing justice after being handed over by the SDF to Iraq's armed forces. Oh, this was just Iraqis. Oh, my bad. Oh, so it had nothing to do with the thing that you were just lying about a second earlier and getting 2.4 million views on? Interesting. This is basically the UN strategy, actually. Glad we could see it in full force. But yes, my opinion on politics is very simple, actually. Killing terrorists is good, and getting funding from foreign adversaries to undermine our nation is bad. Actually, eliminating the terrorists that are trying to kill us is good, and funding infinite foreign wars that don't benefit us at all is not good. And I am apparently, according to all these guys, I am the disingenuous one. All the people that are getting funded from Russia and Iran and all this shit, they're the true America first. They should let the jihadis get their nukes. We should force Trump to end the war. That's right. We should get together and do like these gay ass LGBT style solidarity movements where we try to get Trump to stop the war before getting a peace deal done. So Iran could basically, I guess, get off scot-free. I guess that's the purpose here. The propaganda is insane, and the barbarians are in the Shire. They are behind the walls. And it's not just orcs. There are a couple of Sarumans as well. Yeah, it's pretty bad shit. Actually, I love America, and I want our enemies to die. I know, it's a really hot take. Every leftist in the room trying to do their moral equivalency arguments. Oh, but civilians died in a war that was started because they're terrorists that have been trying to kill us. No. Anyway, women should have the right to murder their babies while they're still in the womb. Really glad we got leftist moral virtue signaling, ladies and gentlemen. But doing the right thing will cause innocent people to die, so we should just let the bad people continue to massacre their own people in silence and build nuclear weapons to kill us. Leftoids, ladies and gentlemen.
So you know if I'm going to be able to...
You aren't going anywhere. What you did last night is fucked up. You killed somebody.
Just hours prior to this interrogation, 20-year-old Isaac Pence brutally stabbed someone to death and fled the scene. Over 20 college students watched as Isaac viciously took the life of their friend, Charles Starner. Unfortunately for them, they were in the middle of the woods, staying in a vacation cabin in Ohio. Help was far away, and Isaac was on the run. Over the course of the next few days, this group of college kids would work with police to hunt down this evil killer together and bring justice to their friend who was senselessly killed. But Isaac thinks he's getting away with it.
I stabbed myself. Shh.
And you think that's funny?
Everyone got way too drunk, about 15 of them, all wanted to come outside and try and jump him. It's just gonna happen. Yeah, I woke up and my mom's like, hey, cops are out here for you. I was like, what the fuck do you mean the cops are out here for me?
On the night of April 22nd, 2023, 23-year-old Dalton Flagg was celebrating his birthday with friends and family at a rented cabin in Hocking County, Ohio. But what should have been the perfect night would quickly turn out to be a tragedy. This is the CCTV footage outside the house. After a long night of drinking, an altercation ensues between a group of teens. Isaac stood in the midst of the argument with his girlfriend Sabra watching from afar. After a few seconds of back and forth, Isaac snaps, throwing a punch into the crowd. This made them push Isaac back into a car where he would strike the crowd again before setting off towards his own vehicle. However, moments later, the fistfight quickly turned into a gruesome scene. Outside of the camera's view, Isaac ran back to his car to grab something. But before he could exit his car again, he was quickly cornered by multiple people trying to force him to leave. That's when Isaac pulled out his knife and attacked. Charles Starner, the college student pushing on Isaac's car door, went on to receive 6 brutal stab wounds, struck in the neck and the back. Panic set in as everyone realized the horrifying scene unfolding in front of them. One of Charles's friends quickly grabbed him and pulled him away from the vicious attack. Isaac would then quickly get inside his car and drive off into the woods with his girlfriend Sabra. The killer, Isaac, was now on the loose and would spend the following hours attempting to cover his tracks. Charlie, on the other hand, the student he just stabbed, limped over to his friends, fading in and out of consciousness. Charlie's friend Hannah was an EMS student, but the injuries were too brutal for her to keep him alive. By the time paramedics arrived on scene, it was already too late, and Charlie would pass away. Officers at this point have no idea what led to Charlie's death. Anyone at the crime scene could be a potential killer, so they immediately rally everyone together, looking for outliers.
All right, you want to slide him over so I can move my car? Let's go, guys. That is Detective Sumner right there. She's going to start asking questions. Nice to meet you.
Top of the morning.
Yeah, great night.
Who saw what happened?
I saw everything that happened.
Why don't you come stand over here? You saw what happened too? Stay separate, but stand over here. Anyone else?
The two people who just stepped forward are Hannah and James, and they are the only two who are entirely drenched in blood.
Do you have a phone?
I believe it's right inside of the forearm.
Just stand where you're at. Okay. Any blood on your pants or shoes? We're probably gonna take your hoodie.
James's blood stains appear to be those of a witness, since they were smooth and smeared. If he was the one who stabbed Charlie, the blood patterns would likely be sharp and scattered across the body. As for Hannah, all of her arms were covered in blood, indicating that she was likely trying to stop Charlie from bleeding out by applying pressure. Regardless, it's clear the two were eyewitnesses to Charlie's murder, so Detective Summers and her counterpart would immediately conduct an interview with both James and Hannah to get a clear recollection of events.
That's a body cam sitting up there on the dash. All right, tell me what you saw, what happened, what led up to all these events.
So I had been inside the house. Once you go in and you go to the right, there's like the whole kitchen, family room, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's this one kid the whole party that, because he knew I had background in EMS, was calling me firefighter. And so I showed him some pictures from like different like fires I'd been on. And then somebody got mad at him for talking to me, which wasn't even any guy that I really knew. Well, so they started fist fighting inside, like right in the doorway once you go into the right. And the kid that's covered in blood, Jimmy and I were kind of standing off to the side. And I told him, I was like, I don't like this. It's like, I mean, everybody's trying to tear it up and stuff. Like, they were still wrestling. They got out into this main corridor right here in front of the door, but I was still sitting, like, at the kitchen table. So, I could kind of hear what was going on. But once again, I didn't want to get in line of fire. Well, I heard somebody say gun. And that's when I was like, I'm definitely going to stay in here. They're out here fighting, like, right in front of my truck, the Toyota 4Runner. And Jimmy, the kid that's covered in blood, was trying to separate them. And I think what happened is he pulled over to a center console, pulled a knife out, and when he did, he went straight for the neck. That's how he got the neck wound. For his back again, and he got him again in the back. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 stab wounds. But I mean, he did, like, I mean, it was very fast, very vigorously.
The moves Hannah describes are not supposed to be used to protect yourself from the attacker, but to kill them. One poke or a stab might be enough to deter the attacker, but 4 or 5 of them to vital parts of the victim's body is a clear indication that Isaac intended to kill.
So kind of explain this to me a little bit. So they were fighting, I guess, fist fighting over here on this side?
Yeah, they were fighting on this side.
Okay. And then what happened?
That guy, I think his name's Isaac, he got up, came over to his car, which was right where the...
Got up, so he got knocked down?
I don't know. I was standing on the porch at that time.
He was over here on the porch?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just saw them all go down there. He was parked right next to the 4Runner, so he went to get in his car, and that's when everything happened. But I saw him start stabbing Charlie, so that's when I kicked his door to kind of stump him, and then I pulled Charlie away and then onto the other side, and that's when we were all just holding him.
Did he know he had a knife at that point, you think?
No, nobody knew.
Okay.
And then after that, I just kept my arm around Charlie to hold pressure on all of his wounds, and then that's why there's blood from this side of the 4Runner over, because after I drug him there, that's where I sat the whole time until you guys got here.
I trust my gut feeling. Tonight was just not right, and that was terrifying. I understand. It was just an absolute show, and I came out to the porch to make sure, like, I was honestly kind of scared I was going to get shot, because they had said, you know, there might be a gun, but I wanted to be here in case somebody got hurt, and
Isaac had called over the phone and threatened to come back and finish the job, further confirming to police that this was not an act of self-defense. While Jimmy and Hannah's interviews provide detectives with a clear picture of what led to the stabbings, both witnesses had never met Isaac before. However, police still know nothing about the actual person who committed this murder. So Detective Summers decides to bring in Dalton, the party's host, who also happens to be Sabra's brother, and he would reveal some twisted information crucial to solving this case.
So walk me through, how long have you guys been here?
We've been here the whole weekend. Yeah, we got here Friday, like 4 p.m. I think it was. And literally, like, all these people, I was making sure everybody had, like, safe rides home. I didn't want people driving. Like, if you're driving, like, there's plenty of room to stay. Everybody can stay. And I was making sure everyone was leaving. And Isaac Pence, the one that he was belligerent. And I said, dude, I was like, you have a safe ride to go home. Just leave. There's no, like, there's no reason for anything. You're like, everybody's going home. Half the people are sleeping, trying to go to bed. Like, I was in the when this all like went down, I was telling everybody to get him out, like, just get him out of here, tell him to leave, get him out of here. And then they all started freaking out. He stabbed. So I was like we all were freaking out. Like, I was like, I'm so much in shock. Like, I did not know what to do. I was up in there, and Hannah and Jimmy, they were all helping, like, holding, like, on him. I was like, just keep pressure on him. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, and
Who
they were all calling.
Who is him?
Who's
him? When you're saying that they were holding pressure on him,
Charlie, the one that got stabbed. Charlie, Hannah, and Jimmy, they were holding pressure on him after, like, they were like, he stabbed him, and, like, Isaac hopped in the car after, like, immediately and sped off. Up through here.
Okay. Who was Isaac with? Who did he sleep with?
My sister, Sabra 5. Isaac's had issues in the past. He's put his hands on my sister, and he's just literally went to jail 3 months ago for putting his hands on my mom.
Isaac Pence was someone that should never have been at this party in the first place. He already had a history of being violent, as Dalton explained, and to make matters worse, he was deadbeat drunk, flailing around, assaulting everyone that came into view. It was only a matter of time before someone got seriously hurt. It just so happened that Dalton telling Isaac to leave made him explode. More importantly, Dalton explained that Isaac went to prison for assaulting his mother. This is very important information, as it could prove in court that Isaac had pre-existing tendencies of assault. Detective Summers plans to speak to Dalton's mother face-to-face,
Hey, what's up?
but before she's able to do so, she receives disturbing information that changes the case completely.
Nothing, just doing some weed growing, some mixing.
I mean, I don't know. She doesn't know if he's coming back to finish what he started or what.
Oh, nice. Cool. Hope he does. All right, good luck. Good with God.
With these claims in mind, police would have everyone evacuate the premises and lock down the cabin. Fortunately, Isaac would never show, and the hunt for Isaac Pence
Yeah, I forgot
would go
dinner
cold for the night.
I'm Lieutenant English. This is Detective Randolph. So we just need a statement from you about what happened last night.
I know. I was supposed to be at work at 6 o'clock this morning. I was woke up at 3 a.m. by my daughter calling me on the phone. She was hard to understand. I could tell she was intoxicated. And she was very hard for me to understand what she was saying. I knew there was a fight. She said a fight was breaking out. She said I'd lost my I don't have my glasses. I don't have my purse. I don't have a shoe. I was trampled on. Dalton and Isaac. Dalton is my son. Isaac is. They not been bad blood, but Isaac's not treated Sabra very well. We had a court case not too long ago where he could be across the room. So Dalton's just protective of his sister, worried for her safety, really. So he told her yesterday he's not to come if he's been drinking. Well, when he got out of the car, he already had a new container on him. And Dalton said he tried to get him to leave all night. Several times he tried to get him to leave, and Isaac wouldn't leave.
Okay. So this is what she told you on the phone, correct?
Yeah, and then I said, Saber, where are you going right now? Where are you? She said she first told me they were at Isaac's house. I said, Saber, okay. But I could hear this in the background. I could hear Isaac talking to somebody. And she was still sitting in the car. And I said, if you're at your house, if you guys are at your house, why are you still sitting in the car? She said, well, I don't know where we are. I said, Saber, ask
I
Isaac
did
where
a
you
couple
are.
other stuff,
So she asked Isaac
but
where
I
they
mostly slept.
Isaac said, it's okay, I stopped at a buddy's house.
I was kind of hoping my RAM sticks would show up before I started streaming, but we got hit with a pretty bad thunderstorm, so Amazon's going to be late.
Maybe 20 minutes, and I told Isaac he needed to leave. He said, he was calm when I was talking to Saber on the phone. Much different person when he was there in the room. He said, well, once I go to my house to get what I need, I'm going back out there. I don't know what he was meaning, but he was going out there to finish something off.
What time was that?
That was, they left my room at 19 till 5.
Well,
5 a.m.?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because then I called my mom, because I said, obviously, I don't know
the RAM stick, I got the new computer. The RAM sticks to the old computer don't fit in the new ones. They're,
I called him and said, I don't really know what's going on. This is all I know, but I know.
the new one's 5, the old one was 4.
I'm not being told everything.
So I had to get new RAM sticks.
I still can't believe this.
It's frankly terrifying that despite the facts that Saber just watched her boyfriend stab someone to death, all she cares about is getting her belongings back before work the next day. This ignorance and complete disregard for their crimes is something that both Isaac and Saber should be held accountable for. Police would go on to get written statements from everyone at the house that night, adding to the pile of evidence against Isaac. However, the next day, Hannah and James would show up to the station to provide police with the most damning evidence they've received yet.
Obviously, a lot was going on yesterday. So I remember how I said I had been on the porch? Well, I flew off the porch so fast. And I ended up on the hood of my truck because I thought Isaac was going to hit my car.
Okay.
So I started recording a video in the circumstance that he hit my car.
Okay.
And I captured the entire stabbing. I captured Sabra, the female that was in the passenger seat. You can see her reach into the back seat with her flashlight on her phone on. There should say the running so hard back.
I'm hoping I get my seeds before I go to bed.
And then that's him dragging him away. Honestly, if you put the brightness on the video up, we might be able to see a little bit better. So, it just goes so fast. But it's him standing up in the door up there. There's Saber getting into the back seat. She grabs something and she tosses it onto his seat.
Tosses what?
Something from the back seat onto his car seat. That Isaac's on. So Isaac's right there in the middle.
Okay.
He's the one standing up there. That's his arm yelling, telling him. Then he's stabbed right there. And that's Jimmy grabbing him and pulling him back.
This video is a crucial step in proving Isaac guilty, as it shows clearly that Isaac did in fact stab Charlie. Additionally, Saber seems to hand something over to Isaac right before the stabbing occurs, meaning she could have potentially given Isaac the knife used to kill Charlie. With this, police have more than enough evidence to arrest Isaac and Saber. This would be an easy task, as police were able to ping Saber's phone location to Isaac's house. They would be detained shortly thereafter. However, during the investigation, they also discovered something peculiar. By tracing the car's movements found at Isaac's house, officers realized that Sabra and Isaac visited 2 other locations before arriving at their own home. The first was the house of Isaac's friend, Justin Sloan. At approximately 3 a.m., just minutes after the stabbing, CCTV cameras captured Sabra and Isaac stopping at the home.
No, this is another one that I had started before. God damn it. It's a lower level one.
Why exactly they stopped would soon unravel itself as officers called Justin.
Hello, is this Justin? Yes. Hi, Justin. This is Detective.
I want to set up so that I gotta.
Talking to our Captain Robinson earlier, but I've just got a couple follow-up questions real quick. So the questions that I have is, do you know Saber?
So that I'm doing a high quality. This one's focused on high quality.
This current house that I live in, yes. Normally we all just kind of meet.
God damn.
Was she present during the discussions when Isaac was telling you what was happening? What happened last night?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was she present when he hid the knives?
She was in my garage on the phone with her mother.
And he left the garage to go. Did he say he was going to go do that?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell him no because I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea if it was true or not.
Okay. Do you have any idea who told the police that he was going to come back and finish the job?
I don't think. I did hear him say stuff like that when he was drunk and freaking out at my house, though. It might even be on camera, but I don't know.
He did say stuff like that at your house?
Kind of. It was more of like he just wanted to go back and beat up the other people that were trying to jump him.
Okay, all right.
The killer couple hid 2 knives at Justin's home. Evidently, the 2 were panicking. With a fresh kill on their hands, they didn't know what to do and stashed the knives at Justin's home without him knowing. Once Justin refuses to give them shelter, Isaac and Sabra make a second stop, Sabra's mother's hotel room. It's obvious the 2 are panicking. Isaac knew what he did could get him in serious trouble, so instead of working with the police to prove his innocence, he hid the murder weapons and ran. The evidence points to Isaac as a clear killer who murdered an innocent college student for no reason. With little to no evidence proving this statement to be wrong, detectives decide it's time to conduct their first formal interrogation with Isaac. The goal of this interrogation is to get Isaac to admit to the murder, and then slowly break his attempt at claiming self-defense until he has nothing left other than to admit his evil actions.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? You live on Pickerington Road? Okay, how long have you lived there?
About 6 or 7 years now.
All right. Who do you live there with?
My mom, my stepdad.
Okay.
I got a little brother, a little sister.
Okay.
And then Sabra and my 2 kids.
Okay. And who's Sabra?
My fiance.
Okay, all right. And how old are your children?
One is 1 and one is 4 months.
Okay, all right.
On the surface, it might look like Isaac is a proud father, but he's hiding more than a few skeletons in his closet. When officers arrived to arrest him, his home's condition was beyond deplorable. The pungent smell of ammonia, likely accumulated from urine, filled up every single corner of the home. But that wasn't even the worst part. Isaac was a well-known abuser, and in his girlfriend's mother's words, Sabra was his biggest victim. This meant that the children he tries to speak so dearly about were the same ones who, according to people close to Isaac, had to live in a house that stunk of
they're
urine,
good.
all the while seeing their mother be abused.
The one's in the tower.
Irregular. To many,
I don't know where
it
Buddy
might
went.
seem
Is
that
going
Isaac's
off to?
complete disregard and ignorance of
He's probably
anyone
on
but
the floor.
himself
I
is what
can't see
landed
him.
Here in the first place.
He's probably
Yet,
laying
in
on the
his
floor
eyes,
because it's
he
cool.
seems to think that he's done
They were
nothing
frightened
wrong.
before because
In
it was a
fact,
thunderstorm
as the
rolled
interview
through.
continues, it's almost as if he sees himself as the victim.
So, sounds like you guys came up here for a birthday party, is that correct?
Yeah.
So whose birthday was it?
It was her brother's birthday. Me and her brother never got along.
Okay.
I was sitting there the whole time. It's like, I know this is a bad idea, but I want to make her happy. So I was like, I will try to put my pride aside. Let's go ahead and go.
Okay.
We were there. Everything was good. It was
When
completely
did you get there?
Is it around 8? I think 8:30. Well, everything was completely fine. And we're having a good time. She ended up having a panic attack because she wanted to get into a hot tub, and she was way too drunk, and she's, oh, he's gonna be mad if I get in a hot tub. And I was like, hey, you're fine, go get in a hot tub. She's like, well, there's other dudes in there. I was like, listen, I'm not getting in a hot tub because I'm wearing work shorts, or work pants, work shirt. I'm not getting in a hot tub. I was like, you want to get in there? Go ahead.
Notice how Isaac completely leaves out the facts that he, too, was belligerently drunk. Pay attention to how Isaac cleverly leaves out details that may diminish his story.
She gets in there, everything's fine. Well, later on that night, she's outside, and we're all standing out in the hallway.
She's outside, so...
Yeah, she's out on the patio.
Who's she?
Sarah.
Okay.
But then it was me, her brother, and I think like two other guys.
Alright, what's her brother's name?
Dalton.
Dalton, okay.
I don't know the other two guys, but we were all standing right here in the hallway, and someone ended up pushing me, so I pushed him back. Well, Dalton thought that I pushed his girlfriend Ariza, and so he got all pissed off. That's when everyone tried to jump me. Well, I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit, so I start throwing them to the side, and that's when I was like, you know, I'm not trying to f anybody, so just toss them to the side. I got in my car. I was telling Saber, hey, if you want to go, then we're going. Well, they came and they got in the passenger car, and they took her sunglasses, or no, her actual glasses and her purse out, trying to keep her to just stay there. So, oh, well, you're gonna stay here. And I was like, well, with everything going on, like, I'm going to leave. Because...
You said you was want to leave?
Yeah, it was from 10 to 15 guys.
Okay.
And they all decided they were gonna try to fight me. Well, then this one comes up to my car door, came up and he was kicking my car. I mean, once they started sitting there trying to bust the glass to get to me, that's when I put out a knife. I was like, hey, you need to back up. And they didn't want to. No, they ended up opening my car door.
What car door?
My driver's side car door.
They did? Okay.
Yeah. It was 2 to 3 guys were sitting there, and they were just yanking on it. I was trying to hold it as good as I could, and it was 3 guys sitting there pulling on it. I was like, I'm not gonna let the door break. I was like, hey, you guys need to back up. Like, this is not going down right here.
Okay.
And they didn't want to listen. So I was like, listen. And just start poking at it a little bit.
Immediately, Isaac's story contradicts all of the witness statements thus far. Isaac claims he was the one trying to leave the party, while everyone else claims they were trying to get Isaac to leave. Unfortunately for Isaac, the phone recording, CCTV footage, and mountains of other evidence go directly against what he's saying. But, for now, detectives will let Isaac create a detailed narrative without confrontation, so that they can use it against him in later interrogations.
Like, I didn't try to do it to physically hurt anybody really bad, but I did it just to, like, poke, like, hey, I have a knife, calm down.
Well, where did you get the knife?
Oh, it was in my car.
Okay.
I use it for work.
Okay.
Because doing construction, we usually cut plastic and everything.
Okay.
They wouldn't stop. They just kept going. So I tried to stab the one guy in the arm just so they would get him. Well, as soon as I stabbed him in the arm, they left. The other 2 guys took off completely.
Okay.
And that's when Saber got in the car and I took off. I left, got somewhere safe. I called my mom. I was like, hey, I should not be driving right now. And a bunch of shit just popped off. I was like, I need to figure out something. I gotta go somewhere, but I don't need to be driving.
So you stabbed the guy in the arm one time?
I think it was twice.
Twice? Sure wasn't more than that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So when you left, and you said you called mom, right? So did she come get you from there?
She was not able to.
Gotcha. So did you go, where'd you go after that?
I went straight home.
Isaac is blatantly making lie after lie. Every lie he makes during this interrogation will only come back to haunt him once he's presented with factual evidence.
The knife. What's its location? Where's it?
Should still be in my car.
Should be in the car.
Shit, I can't buy it. I gotta buy it from the other dude.
So
if I didn't drop it. Gotcha. So it's either in the car or it's at their house.
Gotcha.
Detectives would wrap this interrogation up quickly as they got exactly what he needed. Isaac doubled down on his claims of self-defense
it's
and lied
alright.
through his teeth in order to do so. Now that they have these statements on record, Isaac is going to have a really hard time proving his innocence once he's confronted. But for now, police have another issue to address. It's still unclear what Saber's role was in the murder. The phone recording could indicate that she handed Isaac the knife, so she could be equally as guilty for the crime as Isaac is. However, their one priority is to convict Isaac and extract the truth of what happened that night. So they sit Saber down for her one and only interrogation, with plans to slowly build the pressure until she breaks down and confesses everything.
Start out, let's say.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Let me get these plants going right quick.
I was at work and then I got off at 7. I was working around 7:30. I had a few people coming at 10 really late, so I didn't get out until about 7:30. I went home. He was asleep when I got there, Isaac was. So I woke him up and I was like, just don't want to go. He's like, yeah, we'll just go for
Right now, I'm just trying to sell enough so that I could open the warehouse. I need to get into the warehouse so that I could buy a drying rack and I could top out my quality.
I know I gotta get up in the morning, I gotta go to work. I don't want to get too wasted. So I was just sitting on the couch and they're still having a good time. Isaac's having a good time. And all of a sudden I hear this big arguing. And I was like, oh my gosh, please tell me it's not with Isaac. I go out and I hear a bunch of different stories. Isaac and a few other people are saying that he accidentally pushed Horizon, which is my brother's girlfriend. Then my brother's sitting here saying he intentionally pushed her. I don't think he intentionally pushed her. He's not that type of person. He's not violent, especially with girls. Because his mom was abused by his dad, so he knows what it's like. And he's seen his
Alright, hang on, I'm almost ready here.
So I know he's not that type of person.
It's awfully odd that Saber describes Isaac as non-violent and doubles down on him not being the aggressor the entire night, because all of the previous witnesses stated otherwise. Isaac has had a thorough history of abuse, and everyone besides Saber clearly remembers him being the aggressor the entire night. There is a good chance that the reason why Saber is defending Isaac is a far more deep-rooted issue. Trauma bonding occurs when an individual suffers from cycles of abuse, followed by positive reinforcement. This causes the victim to develop a strong emotional attachment to the abuser, which can result in a rationalization of the abuser's behavior. Considering the fact that Isaac has abused Saber's mom, one might question if he's really the saint Saber makes him out to be in their relationship. But for now, all that Saber wants is to defend Isaac, because to her, it doesn't matter if he's a murderer.
And they're sitting here arguing. I'm trying to talk to Isaac to calm him down.
Oh, I got my new cat cam frame with the neons on it.
Go in your car, sit for a couple hours, and then we can go home. Then they followed us outside. It was 10 guys, all of my brother's friends, and this guy, I think his name is Clay, I don't want to be wrong. He goes, are you really starting problems again? And I think he might have thought maybe when I had my panic attack that Isaac was starting some sort of drama, but he pushed Isaac. Isaac went flying out of the car. I tried to intervene and just try to get Isaac away because I didn't want to see my brother fight Isaac and any of that to happen. They end up back behind Isaac's car. They end up going down that hill. I'm following them, trying to, break it up. Somehow I fall, and they're trampling all over me. I was on my knee, and he got in the car, and he goes, Saber, come on. I didn't even know someone got stabbed until way after we left. And Isaac was like, I think I stabbed that dude. I think I stabbed him. And I was like, oh my God. Isaac was like, you literally ran away. That's not what you should do. And then I think we stopped at his friend's house because his friends lived shortly down the street. He was flipping out because he was he was like, oh my God, I don't want to get in trouble. Then he falling asleep. So I had to so I had to try and wake up and get time to call someone and see if they were up at that time. That's when I hear pounding on our front door, and I walk out, and Isaac's mom was like, Isaac needs to get out of here. There's a bunch of cops out here drawing their weapons. He's got to go out.
It's clear Saber doesn't intend on cracking. So detectives decide it's time to put the pressure on Sabra and get her to confess.
You can't think of anything else that you forgot to tell us or didn't mention?
Not that I know of.
Okay. How well do you know Justin?
I know him not like really well. I just know that him and I were friends for a couple of years.
How long were you at the house talking to him today with Isaac? Isaac?
Like 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. Only 5 to 10 minutes. As far as I know, like I went in to pee, then we were out there for a little bit, and then we left.
I'm sure that somebody's already kind of explained things to you, right? So, mother to mother, you love your children, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you want to see your kids again someday, right? Because today, somebody's actions made it so a mother lost her son, a father lost his son, somebody lost their boyfriend, okay? Several friends lost another friend who bled out at the hands of someone that you care about, and you know something.
I don't.
You were there.
Yeah, but I didn't know he got stabbed. I didn't know that until after we left.
If you're trying to protect this man, you're gonna go down as an accomplice for murder.
I'm not, I promise.
You know something.
I got knocked down and I was on the floor or on the ground, and then I got up and I didn't see anyone on the floor. I didn't see anyone else on the floor. I swear. I'm not trying to protect him.
So what did he say after he stabbed him? Because you guys drove away together. He had to have said something.
He didn't. He really didn't. He said, I don't even think he said anything. He just got in the car. I got in the car. And then we left. And then shortly after that, he said that he stabbed someone.
I'm going to tell you that I talked to his parents, and they said that he's an explosive, angry, violent drunk.
He is. And he is. He's never been like aggressive to me. He just
God damn it.
And he'll,
Why do they do that to me all the time?
He does stupid things when he's drunk. I'll be the first to admit that.
Listen. He died. He's dead. He's gone.
I know.
Okay.
That breaks my heart.
So, your honesty today is imperative about what happened. Your honesty today is the paramount of what we need now. Okay? You're not telling us. You're hiding some stuff back because you're protecting it. Right? Now listen. I spoke to your mother on the phone.
So did I.
You know he's violent against women, correct? He's been violent before against women, correct?
He was violent against your own mama.
Talking about Isaac.
Yes, he did push my mom.
He did what?
He pushed my mom.
Pushed your mom?
Because he went to court for it. She punched him first, and then he pushed her. So I will say that yes, but he has never laid a hand on me. He's never done anything like that.
You told me earlier that you would never do that to a woman, correct?
I totally forgot about my mom. I'm so sorry.
It's your mom. How can you forget about your mom? You're trying to protect him.
I'm not.
Okay?
I'm going to tell you right now that my specialty is domestic violence, sexual assault, and crimes against children. And the living conditions that your children are in are a crime. A deplorable, sickening crime. I'm 35 years old and I could barely breathe in that house. There's dog feces everywhere. The ammonia in that house is horrible. We've made a referral to have your children emergency room. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you, you know how I know you're full of shit? You went to your mom's, you went to Justin's, all before you went back to the house. I talked to your mom.
I did go to my mom's. I totally forgot. I am so sorry.
Are you forgetting because you were drunk? Or are you forgetting because you were high?
No.
Forgetting because she doesn't want to tell us the truth. The only thing that I can have and that I can say about you right now is either she was lying and she doesn't know, or she was scared but she finally told us the truth.
I was scared.
Okay. You knew that he threw the knives at Justin's house, correct?
Yes, and I apologize. I was scared.
Who had the gun at the party?
And I'm being honest to God, I didn't.
Shit, I forgot my garbage grabber.
I know my brother has a gun registered in his name.
Did your brother have a gun?
I don't know. I didn't see one.
Okay. What did you see about the stabbing?
I didn't see, and I'm being completely truthful on everything. I didn't see anyone get stabbed. I didn't see anyone fall to the floor. I didn't see anything. This is when I think all of this stabbing happened when I was on the ground.
Well, is there anything else that you think that we should know about? Is there anything that you want the prosecutor to know? Because now's the time to make your case if you feel that you have one.
I'd like to write out an apology letter for lying to us about that.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Sabra is going to crack anytime soon. However, her lying is just as bad as Isaac's, so convincing her shouldn't be much of a challenge. Additionally, her cathartic behavior only strengthened the case against Isaac, as she revealed that they did in fact hide the knives at Justin's home, giving detectives another lie to confront Isaac with. So once and for all, using all the evidence they've collected for the last several days, detectives sit Isaac down for a final interrogation.
We're going to re-Mirandize you since we've had a break in between. Do you know what your Miranda rights are? Okay, I'm going to read them to you.
After reading Isaac his rights, he would recount everything that happened the night of the murder. We've heard his story multiple times now, so I'll fast forward through that portion of the interrogation.
So, I'm going to tell you, the only thing you have left in this world is your integrity. You know what integrity is? Yeah, your honesty. And I'm going to tell you that I have found about 40 loopholes already in your story. And I know the truth. I'm not going to ask you a question I already don't have the answer to. Okay, that would make me a horrible detective. Been here since 3:30 this morning. The last thing I want is your bullshit. Okay? I am giving you honesty, and I'm giving you the opportunity to come clean. Okay? If I go to the prosecutor and say he gave me a line of crap, you know what they're going to do? They're going to throw the book at you come court time. If I go to the prosecutor and I say, hey, this is a guy who made mistakes, because we all make mistakes. We do it every single day. I'm not a perfect person. Dave's not a perfect person. We've done and seen some fucked up things, okay? What you did last night is fucked up. You killed somebody.
What?
He's dead.
And they died.
Yeah, he died at 8:31 this morning. The world lost a father. He leaves behind a 9.5-month-old son named Jay, okay? Somebody lost their son this morning. A mother and father lost their son. A girlfriend lost her boyfriend that she held compression on for several minutes waiting for a medic to get there to try and save his life. He died at Grant this morning and you're facing murder charges.
I didn't know that.
He did, because you didn't stab him twice. You stabbed him multiple times. Way more than twice. And I've interviewed probably 15 or 16 people today that have painted a pretty gruesome picture involving you. This is your chance to be honest about it.
I was just trying to get them to stop.
You get one shot at this, and one shot only. I've talked to your mom. I know you are a very violent, explosive person. I know you drink almost every weekend. You left her in the care and custody of your 2 children, Draco and Waylon, who are 13 months and 4 months old. I've been inside your bedroom. I've been inside your car. I've had a very deep conversation with your girlfriend's mother, and everyone that was at that cabin. You get one shot at this with me, and that's it. You want to start over?
With this brilliant confrontation, the detective successfully convinced Isaac to start again with his story. Just like in Sabra's interview, he already gave his version of events before this, so any mistakes he makes now will seal his fate.
Start at the very beginning. How did you end up there?
Ended up because everyone wanted to go, and I told her that I would go with her. And so we ended up going. But we've never got along, me and her brother. And, of course, her brother's friends aren't going to like me if he don't like me. But he said that he was going to be cool, calm, and collected. I said I would do the same. And I was, until everything blew up. And once everything blows up, the night just blow up, and I end up blacking out.
How much cocaine did you do last night?
I didn't do anything.
I know there was cocaine there. I have already found the cocaine.
I didn't do anything.
Did you smoke weed?
No.
How much did you drink last night?
1 or 2 beers.
A 12-pack of Miller. I took a couple of shots of Hennessy and a bottle of green. It's like green sour apple schnapps. There was like a half bottle of that.
Okay. So you drank a lot of alcohol, knowing that you have an explosive personality when you're drunk. Okay. Was there some jealousy issues at this party last night?
Yeah, a little bit.
What happened?
Well, it's just her brother's friend, well, her friend and her brother's friend, Trey. I've always not liked him because she sits there and says it's always like a brother, but then she got mad at me one time and said, oh, Trey's so hot, I'll just go kill him. So that's where I don't really trust him anymore. And so when he came, that's kind of where I get jealous.
Okay. So Sabra is talking to Trey, right? Where are they together?
Oh, they're in hot tub.
Okay. And she starts having a panic attack. Because why?
She thought I was gonna be mad.
If Sabra had panic attacks just thinking that Isaac was going to be mad at her, one can question exactly how much abuse she dealt with to behave like this. Worse yet is the fact that Sabra still believed Isaac to be a saint, going as far as to cover up his murder.
So a scuffle ensues, and during this scuffle, Sabra tries to break it up, right? Okay. And what happens to Sabra as she's trying to break this up?
She says she got trampled.
Who comes to run to her aid?
I have no clue.
Okay. So, fair to say that you probably blacked out or there's bits and pieces missing here?
Yeah.
So Dalton comes running over because his sister's now on the ground and she has this tattoo that says my brother's keeper and they're close, right? And he is screaming at you guys to knock the shit off because his sister's now on the ground. And Sabra is having some type of panic attack, right? She goes to get in the car and she's screaming at you at this point, right? Do you remember this?
No.
Okay.
Is that when we start fighting on the hill?
Uh-huh. And what happens on that hill?
On the hill, that's where I got pushed down.
Do you have injuries that would corroborate you saying you got pushed down? The scrapes on your side?
Yeah, I got scrapes all over my side, and I have a big knot right here where I got hit.
Okay. So you get pushed down this hill, and then what?
Then I think we kept on going at it.
Who's we? Because we have about 20 or 22 people now that have been at this cabin.
I don't even know their names.
I saw the video. Somebody clearly shoved you in the front, which started the scuffle.
Yeah, that's about the only part I remember is getting pushed, and then kind of gone from there until I got in my car.
And when you get in your car, what happens?
That's where I think I grabbed a knife. Yeah, he was pulling on the door, I think.
I'll tell you that I have a footprint that tells me they were trying to close the door. Do you remember any of that?
No.
Okay, and where's Sabra?
She was just sitting in the car.
She get out of the car at any point?
I don't think so.
I might be able to harvest those
paying
tonight.
attention to what you're doing there, or is she preoccupied?
It'd be good if I harvest those tonight. Definitely.
Watching TikToks
Come
on her phone. doing
on,
her
hurry.
boyfriend stab somebody. It's pretty normal behavior, right? I mean, hey, you went home and took a nap. Like, it was just another day in the park for you.
I was too drunk. I didn't really remember when I got home.
But not too drunk to drive. Not too drunk to dispose of the murder weapon. Not too drunk to try and cover up your tracks. Did you know his name was Charlie? Yeah, you never met Charlie before that, did you? So, you grabbed Charlie by the neck, and you didn't stab Charlie 2 times. You stabbed Charlie 6 times. The side of his neck, right here on his face, twice in his side, once in his back, and somewhere in between his head and his neck. And you left. You left Charlie to lay there and bleed out on the ground. Charlie didn't die right away, but Charlie
Oh, you're kidding
died.
me. Oh.
He coded out in a trauma bay. He made it in an airplane to a hospital in Columbus. Made it through the surgery, and then he kaput. His heart gave out. And you know what? His kid isn't the only one left without a dad. Because Draco and Waylon aren't going to have their dad either. They're not going to have their mom either. She went to jail today.
What's she gonna do?
Complicity to murder. Because she knew and she didn't do anything about it. And I turned your kids over to the state earlier this afternoon. Because the living conditions in that house are deplorable as well. So, they're not going to have a mother or a father. Does that change things for you? Does that put some things into perspective? Bet you weren't thinking about that when you threw the knife. All right, Isaac, you're gonna stand up, put your hands behind your back. At this time, you're under arrest for murder.
At this point, Isaac has nothing more to say, and the body cam concludes shortly after. With so much evidence stacked against him and his girlfriend, the two were placed into custody as they awaited their trial. A year later, on August 26, 2024, Sabre Flagg pled guilty to obstructing justice. This is a 5th-degree felony that comes with a maximum of 12 months in prison and a $2,500 fine. As for Isaac Pence, he was convicted of 1 count of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. A month later, on September 25th, he was finally sentenced to 18 years to life in prison, where he will not see the light of day for a long, long time. If you're interested in watching our uncensored, extended 2 to 4 hour coverages of these original cases, make sure to check out our Patreon linked in the description. They have a homicide on their hands. Over the next several weeks, officers are seemingly no closer to finding Marshall. Neither his mother nor his stepfather appear willing to cooperate any further. But every time the investigation seems like it's losing momentum, Alexis Gabe's family keeps pushing forward, pressuring police to find their daughter and bring her justice. That pressure soon begins to pay off when investigators finally obtain a real-time location warrant for Marshall's phone and discover he's moved to Vacaville, California, roughly an hour and a half from his home. After a quick check, they find out exactly where that location leads: his sister's house. So officers quickly head to her address, hoping to find Marshall there.
What's your name?
Ariana.
Ariana. I'm James.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Obviously, you know why we're here, right?
I do. When he got here, he was off. While he was here, that's when I saw the first flyer for Alexis. And that's when I started putting the pieces together, what could be. I said, get your tomorrow, you gotta be gone. I want nothing to do with this. And his gun was underneath. I lost my.
What was their relationship like between Alexis and Marshall?
So it got toxic over the last year and a half. He was a lot more torn up about them breaking up than about her being missing. I will say that, irrefutably. Looking back on it, my brother does have sociopath and narcissistic tendencies about himself.
Your mom and Marshall are close, right?
Yes.
Do you think that she's helped him out in any way?
Will she get in trouble?
I hope not. I mean, I hope in the end of all this, she'll be as cooperative as you are. Because ultimately, your brother made the choice that he made,
yes.
Right? So do you think he went to Vegas?
No. I believe this is the number that he's using. If you guys want to take it, that's fine.
Most worryingly for officers, Ariana seems to suspect someone else may be helping Marshall evade police. However, Ariana also gives them something significant: Marshall's new phone number. So after wrapping up the interview, investigators move quickly to track his location. This is when they discover that Marshall's phone is pinging all the way back to his mother, Alicia Clark's house. Up to this point, Alicia has been telling police she doesn't know where Marshall is. Now, detectives begin to suspect she's lying and may even be actively hiding from police. Over the next few hours, police secure an emergency search warrant for Alicia's house. Officers rush to the location knowing full well Marshall could disappear again at any moment. But little do they know, the lead they're following is actually a setup.
Oh, the police search warrant, come to the door! Hello? That's okay. Let's open the door for me. Thank you.
Alright, ma'am.
Step out, please. I understand. She's okay.
Are you able to wake her up and bring her out here for a minute while we service this warrant?
I'm not actually. Let me see what I can.
Anybody else inside?
After escorting Alicia and her daughter outside, officers move in to search the house, but they find no one else inside. They do, however, spot a working camera outside the home, one they immediately begin trying to obtain a warrant for. Despite Marshall's absence, the forensics team insists that his phone is still actively pinging inside the house. By now, investigators know something isn't adding up, so they prepare to question Alicia, starting with the very reason they're here in the first place.
Where's the best place? That's back there.
Talk to me, what's going on?
So, we're obviously here for a reason, and there's a couple of reasons. We're here for Marshall's fund. So, we know it's here, but we don't want to tear your house apart too much. So, if you could direct us to it so we don't have to, like, mess anything up. Like, where is it from?
It's upstairs in my closet in the green Hawaiian shirt you guys need. Now I have a question. What do you guys need it for? You guys cloned it.
So the cell phone thing, they went and did the download, but some of the files got screwed up, so we don't have everything. So we need that, and plus we know that he's had the phone after that. So that's the evidence.
Strangely, Alicia appears unusually cordial with the detectives, despite having her house breached. She's even admitted to holding a wanted suspect's phone, yet treats it as if it's nothing serious. By now, investigators are more than suspicious of her involvement. They're convinced she not only knows where Marshall is, but more importantly, what he did to Alexis.
So, he's obviously not here, so you know where Marshall is?
He after God, I do not know. I do not know. I've intentionally told him, do not tell me. It's just the situation I don't want to know.
So you're distancing yourself?
Oh God, no, not at all. Not at all. I just know this isn't who we are. I mean,
And we don't believe that.
yeah,
We just,
I better not.
we just,
You guys are just doing good.
right, we have to try our best to get answers right, so.
And I'm definitely not distancing my son. I'm not.
Okay.
That's not the reason.
What do you know?
I know that the two of them had a solid relationship. I mean, for Valentine's Day, he wanted to get her an edible arrangement. I couldn't afford it. And so he went and got the chocolate, all of the stuff, built her an edible arrangement.
I like that.
I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. I've told him since he was younger, when you're dating, you want to make sure that you are so good to her that she's going to be comparing every other guy to you.
Right away, this description of Marshall doesn't quite align with what investigators believe about their suspect, especially given his sister's earlier claims that he's a narcissist and a sociopath. If Alicia is fully aware of her son's alleged crime, then defending his character like this is not only disturbing, it's something most people would find nearly impossible to do. Sensing this may be more difficult for her than she's letting on, detectives decide to shift their approach, appealing to her emotions, hoping that if this is all an act, it's about to break.
Because, I mean, obviously, we're still looking. She's still out there somewhere. And things don't look good.
Yeah, it's hard to look that family in the face and tell them, hey, look, we don't really have anything to tell you.
Have you guys thought about maybe she was human?
So,
have you guys found that info?
I've heard that. Some people posting stuff on the internet and stuff. But a lot of people are not, they don't have a good grasp on how human being works.
Right.
You can't just snatch up a 24-year-old, 170-pound female. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up with you. Do you think Marshall had anything to do with it?
God, no.
Even if there's evidence that would suggest that he has something to do with it?
You guys would have to prove it beyond a reason.
Obviously. I don't want to leave you thinking that, for the lack of a better term, just...
I know. Oh, God, no. No, not at all.
There's a reason. I mean, I can only leave you with that. I can't like.
That's even saying. You tell me.
I don't want you to to just like I just said. I mean, we've been both agencies here and the DA's office. We've all been working on this for 3 months now. We've looked every which way.
Despite the detective's best efforts, Alicia doesn't appear to budge. And the worst part is that her dismissive attitude seems to work. Although officers inside manage to locate Marshall's phone, they find it's been wiped completely clean. And with nothing concrete tying Alicia to the disappearance, investigators are once again forced to leave empty-handed. With no body, no confession, and no idea where Marshall may have gone, Alexis's case slowly starts going cold. Months go by, with no new leads on Marshall's whereabouts. But then, investigators finally secure a warrant and obtain the CCTV footage from his mother's house. And as detectives start analyzing the footage, they begin to understand how Marshall managed to stay one step ahead of investigators for so long. Inside these large plastic bags, investigators believe are Alicia's remains and suspect Marshall's mother was aware of it. Following these developments, investigators reach out to Marshall's sister and learn he has a friend at an apartment complex in Kent and may be hiding there. Using travel records, CCTV footage, and anonymous tips, they zero in on a specific location, the Skyview 3322 apartments. On June 1st, more than 4 months after Alexis Gabe disappeared, the task force moves in to serve a murder warrant and finally arrest Marshall. But as they arrive and prepare to breach, nothing about this operation is about to go as planned.
John? Come in.
Yeah, came to the door tonight.
After emerging with a kitchen knife, Marshall is shot multiple times by 3 officers. Despite immediate medical aid, he is pronounced dead at the scene. The following day, Paul Beard, chief of the Oakley Police Department, holds a press conference, announcing that Alexis Gabe's case is now officially being treated as a homicide, and that Marshall Curtis Jones had been charged with her murder before being shot and killed. But any real sense of closure for Alexis's family would not come until much, much later. On November 3rd, while metal detecting near Jackson Road in Plymouth, a local resident discovers what he believes to be human remains and immediately calls 911. When officers arrive, they're left speechless. Scattered across the mountains are the remains of a young woman. A forensic odontologist is brought in and, using dental records, confirms the remains are those of Alexis Gabe. In the aftermath, her family expresses a mix of devastation and relief. They continue pushing for charges against Marshall's mother and hold memorials in Alexis's honor. To this day, Alexis's family continues demanding justice and launching a petition criticizing the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office for its handling of the case and calling for stronger accountability for victims' families. But despite these efforts, Marshall's mother is only temporarily detained. Without sufficient evidence, she is never charged as an accomplice. And the same is true for the rest of Marshall's relatives, something that continues to infuriate Alexis's family to this day. As of now, there is still no definitive motive for Alexis's murder, only that their relationship was deeply toxic. And perhaps, when Alexis finally decided to break up with him, Marshall made a final, irreversible decision. If he couldn't have her, then no one could.
What we're trying to figure out. Well, I'm not sure. Cause I don't know, like, how is it my blood? Like,
That's what we're trying to find out.
Because I don't know why it would be in my house.
It's
I
not
mean,
in
her house.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's why we're even here right now.
Oh.
Remember we got those swabs from you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we compared that to the blood in the house, and it's not only her blood, it's your blood mixed in with it.
Wow.
Through DNA testing.
I don't know what explanation I could give you or even come up with that would be equivalent to how that would happen.
There's only one person here that knows, and that's you.
How do you know that?
Because there's no other way that part of you can be in that house without you never being in there.
I can agree with that.
Right? So that's why I just need an explanation as to how. I'm just trying to wrap my brain around it. You know?
Well, I have to wrap my brain around it first.
Yeah, so that's we need to wrap it around together.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Can you help me with that?
I can if you help me. I can help you if you help me.
How do I help you?
By telling you the truth.
Help me help you. Help me
I don't think
help
you're telling
you.
me all the truth.
What? But I'm not lying.
Well, I think you're about how you got hurt. We have your blood in her house, and we're trying to figure out how it got there. That's the bottom line.
Well,
that's the bottom line. I mean,
did you get my blood from somewhere?
We don't need your blood. We got swabs.
I just mean, like, did somebody put my blood in that house for a reason?
Oh, I don't know. Would you tell me? Would they? I didn't put your blood there.
I don't have any enemies.
I didn't put your blood there.
I mean, I'm only 13. I don't know why anybody would put my blood in a house, but I mean, who knows? Is there any more questions you have for me, or like what?
Well, I want to get past this, and we're not getting past it. You don't know, I don't know. So we're not resolving anything.
Well, I'm not sure if we can resolve it if I don't know and you don't know. Do you know?
Is that iDubbbz?
I mean, listen, I wholeheartedly believe.
Republicans locally and across the country have been railing on Governor Tony Evers' desire to make some parts of state law gender neutral. Evers proposed changes to a section of state law about artificial insemination. Husband, man, mother, and father would be replaced with terms like person, spouse, and inseminated person.
Why? Who asked for this? Did anyone ask for this? Ironically, this is coming from the establishment left because I couldn't think of anything more misogynistic than calling a woman an inseminated person.
In all my time in and around politics, this is probably the dumbest proposal that I've seen. If I called my mother an inseminated person, she'd probably slap me.
Right. Inseminated person sounds like what you would call livestock or cattle. It's dehumanizing. I mean, this is so ironically prejudiced based on what the establishment left traditionally finds offensive that it reminds me of the movie Black Panther, which is supposed to be like the DEI superhero movie where they're like, we're finally being represented. But the writers take a super advanced culture of African Americans and have them live in huts, throw spears, make gorilla noises, the main character gets his power from purple Kool-Aid, and at the end, when they go to a black neighborhood to share their technology, the first impulse of the young black characters is to steal it and take it to a chop shop.
Man, what the hell is that? That's like a Bugatti spaceship. Oh, it came out of nowhere. Did y'all see that? Hey, look, we can break it apart. We can sell it on eBay.
Like, they're trolling, right? I couldn't believe that this stuff was in the movie. So this whole calling mothers an inseminated person is just more of that. They spent 5 decades arguing that stuff like this is demeaning to women, And yet now they do everything they can to create a language and culture that demeans women.
Evers wants to change other parts of state law as well. One state Republican lawmaker counting at least 30 times mother is replaced with a gender-neutral term, father subbed out more than 120 times.
So this all seems kind of strange. Legislators changing common words and concepts that have been in language since the beginning of time. And I think that certainly anyone who's read the book or seen the movie 1984 knows that authoritarian forces will purposefully try to scramble the language, but there isn't a lot of discussion around why specifically that's being done and how it causes people to respond. I feel like that's important because people only seem to understand this on a basic level. For example, I think most people who have spent more than 5 seconds paying attention to culture over the past few years can figure out that the reason the governor of Wisconsin gives for why he wants to change the word mother to inseminated person is a lie.
We're working for the families in Wisconsin, especially those that are receiving IVF services, and making sure that we can make certain that mom is able to get the services she deserves.
I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer here, but assuming that the term mother does not include in vitro, which seems untrue, then I'm sure there are a bunch of different ways to include in vitro without replacing the word mother. This is obvious gaslighting, and I don't think that it takes much brain power to figure out that the real reason they want to say inseminated person instead of mother is because they want to say that men can get pregnant without identifying them as trans. So I think people get this on a basic level, but what I don't see a lot of is understanding of the more under-the-surface reasons for why these grifters will cling to these changes that nobody wants and call everyone who criticizes them liars.
You can count on this being, something that the Republicans are becoming very good at, and that is lying.
That's how you know they're full of shit. When they start blaming the other party instead of addressing the issue. Because the reality is that all of you are assholes.
I also find it rich that all of the sudden the other side has some problem with successful businessmen being involved in politics whenever you guys are the party of George Soros, of Bill and Melinda Gates, of Sheryl Sandberg, of Mackenzie Bezos, of Taylor Swift, of so many other billionaires across the country, as well as every woke, weird pervert in Hollywood. I find this incredibly disingenuous.
I've lived long enough to see that politics doesn't really attract a lot of honest people. Both sides have some shit going on, which is really frustrating because it makes it hard to champion the people who represent your beliefs. The point is that anyone who is a good speaker or a good writer knows that words have meaning beyond their dictionary definition. Each word or phrase has a specific emotion attached to it, and if you want to be an effective communicator, then you have to understand the emotions that different people are going to feel when you use certain words. Otherwise, they won't listen to you or follow your cause, and this is a part of the reason why words are being messed with and changed. Politicians certainly know the importance of the emotion behind a word, which is why they use the same 5 buzzwords over and over again to rile up their voter base. When you say things like abortion, hate speech, universal health care, Nazi, the Constitution, social justice, or traditional values, they evoke certain memories and emotions in people. When you say the word mother, you might get a warm feeling, you might get the feeling that it's someone who cares about you, or you might remember a good experience that you had with your mom. The term inseminated person feels cold, disgusting, and emotionless in kind of a scientific and descriptive sort of way. Like I said, it's dehumanizing, and bad things tend to come after people using dehumanizing language. So not only are these 1984-style word games designed to strip emotions from words or make them more inconvenient to say by adding 4 additional syllables to a 2-syllable concept, but also the people who play these games will add emotions to previously meaningless terms like diversity and inclusion, which have a lot more to do with excluding people so you can surround yourself with only those who agree with you, and that makes everyone more accepting of things like this.
It's very dangerous, Chuck, because a lot of what you're seeing as attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
Quite possibly the most unscientific opinion that I've ever heard.
What are the ways you can clearly see that something is a psyop? First, you're not allowed to question anything.
And Fauci so often contradicted himself during COVID that one of his cronies actually fought to make it a crime to criticize them.
There's a local doctor who's become a household name. He's been urging people to get COVID vaccines, and he's also developing vaccines. We're talking about this man right here, Dr. Peter Hotez. And because of his fame, he's also a frequent target for critics. But should that vaccine criticism or outright threats be classified as a hate crime? Dr. Hotez thinks that option should be on the table.
The right words were so harmful to these people that they were going to try to put you in jail for angry emails. And you can see why, because Fauci and his group of cronies were essentially
Fuck,
committing
I forgot what I was
treason
gonna
in
do before
2020.
that phone started
And
ringing.
one of the ways evil people hide doing evil things is by taking simple ideas and needlessly making them more complex.
Really intelligent people have the capacity to explain.
Oh, I think I
things
might
that
be
might
able to
seem
buy the
complex in a
automatic
very
packing
simple way.
machine now.
Smart people make complex ideas simple, stupid people make simple ideas complex, and dishonest people make simple ideas more
No,
complex
not
on
yet.
purpose.
God damn it.
For example, we have two basic concepts, male and female. Easy, right? Except not anymore, because now there are like 1,000 genders that are being thrust upon children who aren't even old enough to count.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinnifer. They are in a polyamorous relationship, and they all parent Hazel and Sparrow.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby and a 10-year-old who is non-binary.
Nobody knows what that means. Certainly the children don't actually know these concepts well enough to understand the consequences of their choices, and the issue with confusing children about their sexual identity is that it's very likely to rob them of healthy relationships from mentally stable people who don't require that someone memorize like 30 different awkward pronouns before they talk to them.
These polyamorous parents let their children choose their gender.
They're antigender, but we're using
Oh my
they, them
God.
pronouns. Sure, they have anatomy, we understand it, but like that's not indicative of their identity. It's something that Sparrow's gonna have to figure out and then tell us before we can tell anyone else.
Particularly because it's, something that our parents did and they got it wrong.
Right, just because you decided differently means that we need to change a process that is correct for over 99% of people. Not only that, but instead of having the incredibly small number of outliers who don't end up identifying with their biological sex find out how to adapt in their own way, we all now have to disrupt a ton of different processes when it comes to how we interact with people and change all of our policies on how we teach kids by telling them that a guy can be a girl and a girl can be a guy. Biologically. Not socially, biologically. Seriously, basically everyone was fine with transgender people, and nobody had a problem with them until they started going after children, and until they started insisting that everyone be forced to cater to them. And again, it's not just about the difference between the words sex and gender. Oh, they mean different things. Sex is your biology, and gender is how you choose to identify. Bullshit. These terms have always been interchangeable to be congruent with biological reality. And if they're going to say that sex is different from gender, then why do so many of them care what sex is on their passport?
I applied for a passport earlier this month, and this is how it's going so far. Not great. Basically, they were saying that my gender marker that I was requesting was not what was matching my biological sex at birth, which is a very inaccurate, elementary way of looking at gender and sex.
In the past week or so, I've seen at least 10 videos or articles about people crashing out because their biological sex was accurately put on their passport. Which shouldn't be a problem, right? Because the passport says sex, not gender. I thought these people only cared about gender. And God forbid that person goes to the doctor and they start getting treated for the wrong disease because they told the doctor the wrong biological sex. So it's not just about the difference between gender and sex. This is about blurring the lines and expanding the definition of the term biological sex to try to bend reality and get people to accept shit like this. Contrary to this ad, most women are not accepting of this. If the average picture is worth 1,000 words, then this picture of a biological male being ousted by the biological women is worth 10,000 words. Women are not okay with their hard work being ruined by cheaters, and no amount of gaslighting or avoiding taking a stance from popular public figures is going to change that.
This is in Scientific American. Yeah. Less than a year ago. Inequity between male and female athletes is the result not of inherent biological differences between the sexes, but of biases in how they are treated in sports. That's nuts. Scientific American is saying basically that the reason why an WNBA team can't beat the Lakers is because of societal bias.
What you're saying is not Scientific American says that. An editor for Scientific American says that, who no longer has the job. So don't indict a 170-year-old magazine because somebody...
Okay, this is called Scientific American, and they're printing something
because someone enters the cesspool that is social media and then participates in that exchange. So
why can't you
let's talk about science.
Why can't you just say this is not scientific and Scientific American should do better?
That was like a year ago, was it? Which one was a year ago?
I think a year ago, women still couldn't beat men in basketball or any other sport. And it wasn't because of society. You don't see a problem.
By the way, long distance swimming, women might actually have the advantage. You can look into that. Yeah.
I mean, I remember when people used to respect Neil deGrasse Tyson like 10 years ago. It was a good day when he showed up on a Joe Rogan episode. Now he's just an obvious paid shill who refuses to answer basic questions when it's politically inconvenient. And don't think the trans stuff is the only time where they've tried to expand the definition of words. It's done almost constantly to promote an agenda. For example, racial tension in the 90s and the 2000s was at an all-time low, which is bad because racial tension makes grifters like Al Sharpton or Robin DiAngelo a lot of money, and it helps certain politicians get voted in. So in the 2010s, they invented the term microaggressions and told people that it was deeply racist to ask a person where they're from, which didn't really stick, but what did stick is that stereotypes became racist, and since the 2010s, if you say things like certain races like certain types of food, you're basically Hitler now. But before this time, stereotypes were never considered racist, which is why jokes like this in Family Guy existed, despite the creator being very on the left.
I too will be abstinent. I'll be as untouched as the turn signal in an Asian woman's car.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lanes? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else!
And by definition, stereotyping is not racist because traditionally when I was a kid, before the term was expanded, we were taught that racism required the belief that other races were inferior to your race, which then means that those inferior races deserve to be dehumanized and have freedom stripped away or violence done to them. Saying that Indian street food should probably have better hygiene standards is not racist, but saying that certain races are inferior because their brains are smaller and therefore they should be treated as lower class citizens is racist. There's an important difference. And just like the word racism, they've changed the definition of a ton of words like immigrant or rights to include a vast number of things that they didn't include before. And the final thing that these changes of wording and definitions are designed to do is destroy traditional ideas that work and turn everyone into useless people who will follow and do whatever they're told because they can't do anything for themselves. Most people don't realize this, but the vast majority of our success is due to just copying what other people have done in the past. This process is so ingrained in the way that we think, and so commonly leads to the correct answer or the correct behavior, that it's kind of funny to point out when it causes people to do things that make no logical sense.
Let me show you something. This is a normal harbor in Iceland. And as you can see, the X line is painted yellow, and the box is gray. Let's see another harbor. Yellow line, gray box. And when I was young and stupid, I was hired by my hometown harbor to paint one of those lines yellow. And because I was young and stupid, I did everything I could to make the job easier, like putting the paint can on the box while I was painting. And as you would expect, I bumped into the paint can, spilling yellow paint all over the gray box. So again, me being young and stupid, I just painted the box yellow, thinking nobody's gonna notice. And here's that box today. Yes, they keep painting it yellow. And as I showed you at the start, it's not every harbor that does this. Just this one. And it's actually been so long that they probably don't even know why they paint the boxes yellow. It's just something they do now.
Welcome to human nature. We have a giant set of effective learned behaviors that most people don't understand. They just do them because that's what's always been done. This actually describes most of your behaviors. So the goal of someone who is trying to destroy things is to confuse and replace these effective traditions or passed down behaviors with something else that is broken and not effective. This is why they try to force you to say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas, or why they try to ruin Halloween by saying that wearing a costume is offensive cultural appropriation. They're trying to erase traditions that bring people together. This is also why authoritarian regimes try to get rid of things like Christian churches. Forget whether you believe in God or not. You want to know one of the biggest factors destroying the family right now? It's not because of hypergamous female nature or passport bros. It's because people stopped going to church. Church is a place that people go to on a regular basis to share values and socialize with their local community, which these days is almost unheard of, as everyone's social activity now occurs mostly through the internet. You're also around a bunch of marriage-minded people who can help you through tough relationship issues, instead of your idiot single friends who push you to break up or divorce at any slight insult. And you're around a community whose base values are forgiveness and helping others. The God stuff doesn't matter. This is what matters, and it's why authoritarians hate and constantly shit on religion and try to replace it with worship of the government, to the extent where not everyone, but a significant number of the people just end up being a bunch of crazy morons who constantly crash out over people merely disagreeing with them.
Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you feel the need to do that? Why do you feel the need to tear our posters down?
Because I don't like them.
Why?
I think you know why.
Why?
These posters were apparently for a Charlie Kirk event. Now, I know nothing about Charlie Kirk outside of him being a conservative, but this chick can't even articulate why she doesn't like him, and I feel like every day I see multiples of these ridiculous crash outs or people acting like it's
Thank all you people out there for voting this individual in. Thanks so much, because guess what? I live in a rural community, and now I know I can't simply leave my house. Thanks so much, guys. I'm gonna be underground. You guys won't hear from me again.
So Trump getting into office was so monumental that in just a few weeks, it turned everyone in your community into a bunch of dangerous predators who you have to hide from? That's strange, because when I step outside my house, it's like nothing has changed.
It's always some white man in my DMs who is just like, if only you didn't hate on Trump, then maybe I could show you a good time.
What?
Stay away from me, white man!
But now we have the daily crash out videos, and we have modern Democrats being so out of touch that they think that acting like they're in the battle screen of a turn-based RPG will win them votes. Good news for Hillary Clinton, though, because someone has finally done something more cringe than Pokemon Go to the polls.
It's giving. So Sigma, main character energy. Negative aura points.
So a lot of damage has been done to people's intelligence and wisdom by breaking traditions and changing words. Ultimately, these cultural norms and traditions help you develop your self-concept, because a major part of that is created through your experiences with other people. And the big issue is that if you need to make changes for the better and you have a poor self-concept, nothing will happen until you change how you perceive yourself. For example, if you feel like you're a failure and that's how you identify, then you will actually avoid making changes that alter that self-concept. This applies to things as small as believing that you're the type of person who can't fix things around the house, and to things as big as believing that you're the type of person who cannot lose weight or get a decent job. Becoming the person who can do those things threatens your identity, so your mind will actively resist it. This is actually quite an annoying thing that the brain does, but fortunately, once you're aware that you need to change who you believe you are before you will start to make a serious effort, you can actually start making positive changes much faster. You just get used to adopting different mindsets and different states of being. Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's hard to know who's dangerous or not. Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Are you sure you want to go down that route? I feel safe when I'm around people who are just like me. Imagine if a white person said that.
I didn't know I'm Irish, so it's still I am not from here, obviously, but it's really cool to come somewhere and like everybody looks exactly like you.
Damn, that sounded super racist. Here, I'll fix it by having a black person say it.
Coming to Ghana has been great. It's the first time in my life that I'm not black. Here it's like, everybody's black, so you don't even think about being black. It's beautiful. Yeah. Coming to a place where you're the majority is very empowering.
Gee, that was a close one. Now let's go back to telling white people that they're evil for being born the wrong skin color.
Hi everybody, I'm at the Basket Barbecue right now. All my friends are in there. I don't really understand. So you're not letting me in because of my hair? Correct.
Yeah, so, if it doesn't align with a culture that...
Jarek, they won't, I'm filming right now, but they won't let me in because I have dreadlocks. They what? They won't let me in because I have dreadlocks, and they're trying to show me that this way.
To them that we have a cultural appropriation policy.
But this is retarded, I just drove 5 hours to get here.
Also, like, even that language, I don't want used in the venue as
oh
well,
my gosh.
so it's like...
Oh man, pulling out the R word? That's messed up. But allow me to use this clip to point out that again, all of this outrage is manufactured by political radicals. Even people who are slightly right of Karl Marx don't like it. This is like a gay music festival or whatever with a sign that ironically says they have a zero tolerance policy for all forms of bigotry and oppressive behavior. So this dreadlock lady is probably on the left if she's going to an event like this.
Okay, well then I would like my money back in cash.
Yeah,
I would rather go in and not have to make myself look like a total retard because I've been camping for like.
You're also using the R word on this and trying to look good.
That's also a thing where
I'm allowed to call myself whatever I want.
the word retard is not okay in the world and in this venue.
Oh man, she R-worded again. What's wrong with her? Wait, what are the rules on this? Because I know if it was the N-word they were talking about, they wouldn't say the full word. They would just say the N-word. So why are they saying retard and not the R-word if it's so offensive?
What if, like, somebody comes with braids in their hair?
If that is not with their culture, if they are appropriating another culture, they will be asked to
I'm
leave.
native as well. It's totally unfair and I'm being discriminated
So
against.
the Birdhouse is committed to creating an anti-race environment. This was made very carefully with the Black community at our space.
That's hilarious because black girls appropriate white women's hair all the time. Seems like a very privileged and racist position to say that a white person can't do a thing that you're allowed to do because they were born the wrong state.
I'm trying to say, literally this August, a white person said the N-word in front of me.
Nobody cares. Black people say that word constantly. You can't be that offended by it. The only reason you're pretending to care is because you want to use it as a tool to unfairly gain power by playing the victim, or you want to use it to spread racial hatred of white people. I mean, how have these people skated by all of these years without being called racist when they are very obviously extremely racist? Like more racist than the average person. As for the white people from the Queer Music Festival, wait, isn't queer a slur? It definitely used to be a slur, so I don't see how they can be mad about that girl using the R word. But these white people hate other white people so much that they have no idea of the obscene amounts of money that black women spend straightening their hair or buying wigs to try and make it look like a white girl's hair.
If you're offended by minorities talking about their lived experiences, you're the problem. If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem.
Someone needs to show this chick crime statistics and then ask her which men women are afraid of. Sorry, I'm not sorry. All these complainers need to get with the program or shut the fuck up. No one cares about your lived experiences or how it's okay for you to be a degenerate criminal who deserves reparations for shit that you didn't live through. In fact, I might say that some of these people's lived experiences are going to become quite uncomfortable when we start giving judges capital punishment for releasing people who have committed 25 felonies in a 10-year period out into polite society. And also, in my opinion, things are about to become real uncomfortable for the educators who have been pushing sexual deviancy onto children.
I'm a mom of 2 in Fairfax County. This is my oldest, and my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school.
Yeah, throw them all in jail. From a technical standpoint, this is not pedophilia, but it's certainly adjacent, and unnecessarily teaching prepubescent kids sexual topics in school outside of basic biology should be a crime that lands you prison time or worse. There are not nearly enough teachers and school board members going to jail for this.
Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways. This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda.
More evidence that this entire school board should be arrested. You don't think these types of people should be in prison, or worse? Look at this.
So here's what I'm asking you. You have a hard time hearing this from me, but this is for 10 years old and up, and this bill was passed for 5-year-olds. And you have a hard time me sitting here telling you the words anal sex, masturbation. That's hard for you, or the time's up? Because the time's not really up. I don't believe you, Mr. Wiley, that my time is up.
Approved for 5-year-olds. The fact that there is no sentencing for this stuff is ridiculous. More and more we hear stories like this next one because these sick fucks have been allowed to get away with it.
In early May of 2021, my wife and I were asked by our daughter if she could attend Jenna Reap's after-school anime club at Wellington Middle School. Knowing there's a lot of inappropriate anime, we reluctantly gave our permission, trusting PSD to provide a safe, age-appropriate environment for our child.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I love Japan, but anime has a lot of stuff in it that's inappropriate for middle schoolers. There's a reason why Toonami and 4Kids back in the 90s used to edit anime like crazy. Anyway, so after going to this anime club for middle schoolers, This guy's 12-year-old daughter tries to end her life. Up next is the conversation that follows him bringing this up.
Not a single PSD employee reached out to us to understand what in the PSD environment may have contributed to her decision to end her life. It wasn't until May of this year when Wellington Middle School made the news that we had a much better understanding of what had happened and realized that our experience was not an isolated incident. Anime Club was actually a club about gender and sex, and when we asked our daughter if she was ever told to lie to us about it, she said she was told that students didn't have to talk to anyone about what was being said in that room, and if parents asked, students didn't need to tell them. And it felt like a slap in the face to me to listen to Brian Kingsley and Kelby Benedict, the principal, through email and in person and video, that they fully support and encourage these organizations that they know bring with them a highly elevated suicide rate. When we met with Kelby, he told us, I am proud of the community that we've created in Wellington, a community that led to my daughter's decision to try and end her life. And when we shared our experience with Kelby, he told us that kids being invited to art club and anime club were just rumors, and then suggested our daughter was lying with regards to what Jenna Reap had told her about talking to parents.
Hey kids, let's talk about sexual topics. Make sure that you don't tell your parents what we're saying. It's our little secrets. You see what I mean by pedo adjacent? I mean, there are like a million stories of stuff like this. It literally happens all the time, and these people need to start getting arrested for doing this. Like, why did this next teacher only get fired?
We are going to name this trans student Millie. Millie's parents have found out that Millie is going by Millie at school. Millie's parents are homophobic and transphobic, and so they don't like that. Them being homophobic and transphobic does not make Millie not Millie. They are essentially torturing Millie at home because they don't like this. At this point, I'm going to let you know that the Department of Education for my state does not force people to call trans kids by their chosen names, but it does have it heavily recommended. I am very confused when the admin, Larry, sends out an email to all of the staff that have Millie. The email says that henceforth they are only to be called Bob by all of the teachers, and if they hear them saying anything to any of the other students, they need to correct them. And so when Millie came in that day, I took Millie aside and I was like, hey, I got an email today that said that you want to go by Bob now. Is that true? And Millie just starts sobbing. Because no, Millie does not want to go by Bob now. Bob is the dead name. Millie is still Millie and wants to be called Millie, but the parents have contacted the school, and Larry decided that this was the best course of action. Yes, these events did 100% lead to me not being hired again at the end of the year. Worth it.
Yeah, going around and gender-confusing kids should be a crime. A light punishment for doing this secretly and against the wishes of the parents would be losing her job and losing her teaching license. Because remember what this leads to. For now, it's just a name change, but in a few years, it's medical and surgical intervention, which are decisions that lead to permanent outcomes that these kids may not want when they turn 25. Yet parents and doctors and school employees are making this decision for kids at like 13. Actually, that's not entirely accurate because oftentimes schools are gatewaying kids into this against parental consent or knowledge. And a lot of this comes from stupid ideology that some people have, that kids are just like tiny adults. And instead of being a stern parent and guiding them away from bad decisions that have negative consequences that they are too young to understand, every little whim should be listened to.
What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Violet told us when she was 1.5. She's been telling us since she could speak.
You've got to be kidding me. These parents are insane. What, he picked up a Barbie doll and now you decided that he needs cross-hormone therapy?
If you like girl things, it means that you're actually a girl. That's right. So if you like gardening, you're a girl. If you like cooking, you're a girl. Why is it that every single, if gender's such a massive spectrum, then why is every kid that shows an interest in something that's feminine automatically trans? I like Sailor Moon. Does that make me a girl? Yeah, it is. Go to your go talk to your doctor tomorrow, and you should start your transition immediately.
At this point, if the CPS wasn't so great at putting kids in situations that are worse than the ones they're being rescued from, then I would say that legal action should be taken against these parents for doing this to their 1-year-old. So I don't think we can do anything on that front outside of maybe shaming them for doing this, but I do believe that we can make the lives of other people very uncomfortable for promoting this stuff. In recent months, my mind has changed on this very much. There's no talking to these people or reasoning with them or compromising. Their lives just need to be ruined until they step in line.
There is no unity with people who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We tried unity. We've been trying open debate and honest discussion with these people since, like, what, 2016? 2014? Not only have they mislabeled us as fascist Nazis, but they have ritually tried to assassinate political figures on our side, and when they succeeded, they all laughed and said, why not more? Oh, and it's not just Republicans like Charlie Kirk that they did this to. Remember, a Democrat, Melissa Hortman, was murdered by a radical leftist conveniently after she voted against healthcare for illegals. Make no mistake, these radicals will kill people on the left too for not being left enough. Now, going back to trans kids, I've shown this clip in 2 different videos already, but I think it's so disgusting that it bears repeating considering that a month ago, the world changed.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. You're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Now, in the past I might have said, isn't this so awful? We should talk to these people and show them the error of their ways. I'm not on that level anymore. This doctor should get life in prison, or worse. I see very little difference between sterilizing 13-year-olds and child molestation. And make no mistake, she very likely has given these recommendations to many kids. So let's do it. Let's change the laws and make it happen. People need to be criminally punished for medically transitioning kids. Why are we letting radical activists or teachers or psychologists or doctors tell parents that their kids will die if they don't go on HRT? That's not how this works, and if they want to say that it works like that, then allow me to remind everyone that they have no evidence that lack of gender-affirming care leads to suicidal ideation. I've looked through data that they provided to argue their points in many different videos like this one, and to quickly summarize, their proof that not being affirmed leads to more suicide attempts is weak because there are other cofactors like homelessness and drug abuse that are far more prominent, and they've also failed to prove that gender-affirming care is an effective treatment because they don't test it against other therapies. And the one time I was provided a study where they did, gender-affirming care was shown to have no effect. Now, personally, I think adults can do whatever they want. You know, who am I to stop an adult who hires a plastic surgeon to turn themselves into an elf? But outside of that, how about the people who throw this stuff at kids spend some time in prison? The evidence that these extremely invasive therapies improve the mental health of children or maintain any mental health benefit long-term is basically non-existent. And keep in mind, they have spent the past 10 years censoring and bullying and taking the jobs of anyone who says where's the data or tries to do honest research. So how about people start going to jail for doing this to kids? How about you at least lose your teaching license for making a secret anime club to teach gender ideology to middle schoolers behind their parents' back? How about these school boards who are putting inappropriate sexual material in front of elementary school kids against their parents' wishes get put in handcuffs? I don't think people are thinking downstream far enough. People should be more mad about this. Let's get back to this chick for a second.
If you're offended by women saying they're afraid of men, you're the problem.
Right, and why would you have to be afraid of men? Well, it's no secret that mental health issues cause criminality, and things like high rates of single motherhood or giving children life-altering surgeries at 13 have a really bad habit of giving people the kind of mental health issues that turn them into criminals. There's a reason why a number of these mass shooters are trans. Personally, I would like to live in a space where I'm not constantly worried that I'll be robbed or stabbed. You do know that there are other societies that don't have to deal with these types of problems, right? I would just like to further emphasize a point that I've already made in a prior video, because I went on a second trip to Japan after just going a month prior, and like I said before, it is uncanny to be able to just relax in public when you're out at night. It is uncanny to be able to walk away from your luggage that contains thousands of dollars of electronics and turn your back on it to look at a subway map because you know that no one's going to steal it. What do they call that? A high-trust society? Japan is also notorious for being clean despite having no trash cans anywhere. I mean, the trash can situation there is ridiculous. They like hide the trash cans from you. But despite that, the cities are still super clean. In fact, even the degenerates who litter have the courtesy to hide their empty cans in bushes, or line them up on windowsills, or even organize their litter in public walkways when a windowsill or a bush isn't available. Look how neat that is. I'll go even further because this blew my mind. I've been listening to the Steve Jobs biography, so I wanted to go into an Apple store while I was in Japan because there's talk about the design of the Apple stores in the book. When my friends and I got there, we noticed that not only do you have, as far as I saw, full access to all the features on the iPhones, but also, none of the phones were tethered to the desk, which means you can just pick the phone up and walk around with it. They can do that in Japan because no one steals, or at least theft is rare enough that Apple in Japan feels comfortable treating their customers like human beings and not criminals. Why isn't America like that? We don't have to live in filthy cities or filthy communities that are full of criminals. There are other places in the world that have figured this out, and we can too. Though the sad part for Japan is that this is changing a bit. Here's a video that Oriental Pearl just released.
Graffiti all over the wall. Somebody illegally dumped their household trash here. This has been here for weeks. There's even graffiti on the abandoned house. This isn't London, it's not New York. This is actually Tokyo, Japan. And then coming over here, every pole, everything, every little box, vending machines have graffiti in it. This is covered up.
Goddamn, scared the crap out of me.
Retards, of course. Like I've said before, I'm all for peace in the Middle East, but when you start engaging in terrorist acts or vandalism, I get a lot less accepting and a lot less sympathetic towards foreigners, especially when it's foreigners who screwed up their country and have come to ruin yours.
But it turns out the people that are being invited into Japan are actually not super grateful, and thank God for Japan, they have a secret weapon to combat this. Racism.
Unfortunately, mass immigration isn't the only issue
Racism.
in Japan, as global events of the 2020s have caused the culture to degrade a bit.
The graffiti just seems to be getting worse. I've seen this over the last few years, especially around Corona, after Corona. Right after the pandemic, a lot of runaways from all across the country, even really young kids, middle school and high school age, came and gathered here at Toyoko Hiroba. So there were the Toyoko kids, the runaways from Japan, all across the country that came to Shinjuku. They'd stay in the manga cafes, they'd work, you know, not legal jobs during the daytime. And the same goes for this Okubo Building right here behind me. This was insane. And I had never seen anything like this in Japan before. Not only the professional ladies of the night standing out here, but also the amateurs. But you don't see them so much anymore because it became so famous in Japan that the police had to get involved and put a stop to it.
Well, great. It sounds like another bullying success story. Outside of that, yeah, a lot of people are hurting because of what was done during COVID. It's almost like worldwide lockdowns were done to purposefully throw people into poverty and increase crime. Now, as far as I'm aware, this kind of stuff in Japan is isolated to areas of Tokyo like Shibuya, Shinjuku, and a part of Shinjuku called Kabukicho. I don't think it's like a massive countrywide thing. Certainly Kyoto is very clean. However, there was some drama around this video as Chris from abroad in Japan went onto Facebook. Who the hell still uses Facebook? Chris went onto Facebook to say that Oriental Pearl was just drama farming, and these areas are actually fine. Personally, I've been to the areas that were mentioned twice in the past 2 months, and I have to say that there is a noticeable difference between them and other parts of Tokyo that are much safer. I mean, a friend and I definitely walked down an alleyway in Shinjuku on accident that we immediately wanted to leave. Not to mention that I've been told unprompted by multiple Japanese teachers during lessons to be careful in these areas, especially at night.
So in this case, I don't think Oriental Pearl is exaggerating or sensationalist. Seeing that much graffiti in Japan, it's not usual.
So that corner is actually here. It's actually getting worse 2023 versus now. So if her point is like, oh yeah, Japan's getting more graffitis everywhere and trash everywhere. Yeah, I didn't know about this myself. It seems like she's actually true.
I do think that this is a problem, at least in those areas, and just because an area was worse before doesn't mean that it can't still be improved. Along with that, if you ignore it, then it will get worse and spread to other places. So personally, I think a less tolerant attitude towards crime, instead of saying, come on guys, it's not that bad, is more appropriate. As for the West, I'm tired of it, I'm fatigued, I'm tired of all the crime. We are way too tolerant of criminals. So how about we start putting up boundaries? How about we stop putting up with all this bad behavior? Because the more that we allow this stuff to continue, the more it will morph us into bad people. Now, this next thing is about relationships, but I think it heavily applies.
I cannot tell you how much bitterness and resentment you will build up as a man if you do everything for your woman and you get nothing in return. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, it will turn you into a monster. You can be the best man on earth, but if you have an ungrateful partner, it will turn you into a fucking monster, bro.
He's right. If you get intimately involved with bad people, they will turn you into a monster long before you get anywhere close to fixing them. Some people cannot be reformed, and the ones who can be reformed will only make changes when they're socially ostracized or experience extremely negative consequences. So if you're suffering because you're around bad people, then know that you don't have to live like this. You don't have to be in a relationship with a crazy person, and we don't have to live in a society where people call us racist as they try to turn our kids into sexual deviants who hate their parents. And it's not that hard. If you want to send these people into a spiral, then just tell them that there are only two genders. But if someone keeps trying to ruin your life, stop talking to them. The more you put up with them, the more you'll degrade yourself. If someone commits a horrendous crime, then make sure they go to jail. And last, don't be appeased by bullshit. Bullshit like good old politicians creating cashless bail reform because Irina Zarutska got stabbed on a train. I mean, sure, that's all well and good, and this AI summary seems to show some things that I like, but that's not what we asked for. I could have sworn what people requested was life imprisonment or capital punishment to the activist judges who keep releasing these career violent criminals into polite society. That'll stop this shit real fast. I don't want dumb cashless bail reform as a consolation prize. I want these evil activist judges who let that girl get stabbed to be dealt with. What needs to happen as a society is that we all need to assert boundaries and not back down until actual justice has been served. That's what will fix these problems. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Injury, the Japanese version of the Switch, will only be $350. Racially charged, dude. Racially charged consumerism. Listen, man, Konichiwa. Throw me the discount, brother. You know what I'm saying? Their games also saw a significant...
Every time a team comes and visits the White House, he's like, and you must be the guy who catches. It's like, look at these guys, big guys, black guys. And that's just when the New York Liberty visited.
Oh my God! We got the funniest moments from Shane Gillis. Love this guy.
When Caitlin Clark retires from the WNBA, she's going to work at a Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey. The Caitlin Clark Andrew Reese beef was real, bro.
It was, bro.
Now it sizzled out, bro.
What are you laughing at? God. What are you laughing at, Shane?
Nothing. Keep talking.
Every time I start talking a little too long, he starts laughing, and it makes me self-conscious. But I'm just saying that I'm glad that we have a hang now as opposed to a show.
I like to watch the faces of people around her when she's going.
Oh.
And what do you see in those faces, Shane? What do you observe?
That mean they was all like, ooh.
It's because of her voice, bro.
Irv, and what makes you giggle?
I see people's souls leaving their fucking
Oh,
I do this for a living, Shane. It's really
she's hurt. She's hurt.
I played Rogan last week.
She's hurt. She's hurt. She's hurt.
Really?
Whoops.
Oh,
Oh,
is
yeah, I saw-
that picture wasn't photoshopped? The what's it
No,
called?
he ripped my shoulder
Oh.
off.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and I was hammered, so I was like, you can't tap me, dude. Jiu-jitsu's...
Bro, yeah, I'm gonna be so real, Joe. Hey, bro, I love you. Y'all gotta stop. Like, y'all leave Joe Rogan alone. He got a real short fuse, bro. They go to jiu-jitsu people, bro. Oh, you wanna go? Oh, you wanna go? You wanna go? Square up, pussy. Bro, y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta leave Joe Rogan. Oh yeah, leave that nigga alone. His fuse
Alright, hang on,
is
I gotta
so
get up.
short. Like, just
Get a
leave him
munchie
alone,
and something to
bro.
drink.
He tapped me like 8 times, dude. He kept
That easy.
Yeah.
Do you think if you were sober and he was sober that you could wrestle? At least.
No. And Ari was him while he was doing it.
Oh, he was gassing him up.
Ari was like, Shane, you're so much stronger than him. Just stand up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, no, he's not. It's like,
That ego was eating Joe Rogan alive, bro. No, he's not.
Get me in like a triangle choke or something. I'd be like, this is nothing.
Rage Vader.
Drink these?
Yeah, we can drink these, man. That's sparkling. Do you mind?
This is sparkling water.
You want flat?
I don't know
Take
why
flat.
I thought this was. This is
Flat.
water.
We're out drinking. Take flat.
I thought it was coffee.
Nah, Chad.
Liquid
When we did the Ashton Hall remake and we bought the Saratoga water, that nigga Aaron dipped his face in and went, ah! We was like, what? It's sparkling. We didn't know it was sparkling.
That's water? Where's this stuff from? Flint?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, how is this not
Liquid death.
the
Water?
sanctioned water of Flint?
That's crazy.
They're having a tough-
Remember when you wanted to buy a property in Flint? Bro, you want to know the crazy part? Bro, I should have did it. You should have. I should have did it. There's a company that literally has over 30,000 properties in Flint. And now that the water getting better, bro, rich, and taxing them boys. Bro, we was trying to wholesale houses. That nigga Aaron, my plan is to wholesale to get to this level. Then I'm gonna start buying property. He was telling every fucking investor that I'm gonna start buying property because, bro, Flint is untapped, bro. I'm still about to buy property in Syracuse, bro. Now in Syracuse, Syracuse is back in Syracuse up, bro. Nah, cause they not buying in Syracuse. Nobody will live in Syracuse, New York. But niggas not smart, bro. You give niggas from the South the opportunity to move up there. Here you go. Hey man, the hell wrong with you?
She left me.
Hey bro, lock in. Lock in.
Me, though.
She left you because you don't got no merch.
What you mean?
You don't got none of the Internet City merch. You don't got none of the Internet City
What they got
merch.
to do about love?
You need confidence.
Okay.
Hey, Internet City plus one of Aura.
Okay.
Like a 0.01005% plus one to dick.
Oh, hey, buddy. Buddy boy.
No. Oh. But you look cool.
Oh,
What I'm saying? Look. What's the website?
I don't know.
What's the website? Say you know it.
I don't know.
You know it.
I don't
What's
know.
the
InternetCity.store.
You got it. Now look. Shh. Take your clothes off. And go put this on.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. Yeah. I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. That's crazy. You clap for that.
This nigga's a G. Hey, that's funny. That's great.
We're having fun. Which brings me to the next point, dude. The View.
I wish I was watching The View. I know we're having fun right now.
I just wish John
I was
Hamm-
watching The View so that I could understand comedy the way Joy Behar does.
Oh, he's
You know,
roasting them.
hilarious comedian Joy Behar. What was that one joke she told that everyone likes? Never once, ever?
Nah.
Connor does, when he was talking about you when Khabib
And he's like, that's an illegal knee. Shut up, Joe, you fool, yeah. Call the police. That's an illegal knee.
Listen, fired up.
Yeah.
Talking about the commentary. He gets fired up.
Yes.
He gets on Twitter. He gets on voice.
Comedian that people don't like.
I don't know who that is.
He said some effed up shit. He said some effed up stuff on Twitter about fuck. I can't remember who it was about.
I don't think was it that bad? Cause I don't know.
He said some effed up. He's not mainstream, but he had enough of it. He said some Ari about Kobe. He said the shit about Kobe. Yeah.
Twitter. He's the only guy on earth that uses it.
That was an illegal knee on the head of a grounded opponent. Shut up, Joe, you little Phil.
Yeah, you know Epstein's innocent, bro.
Oh my God.
That's the funniest development. Like, we are going to unveil the truth once and for all. Turns out the guy was just a fucking guy.
Regular guy.
Struggling in the world just like all of us. Also, innocent of what? He was literally a guilty... He was busted.
Isn't like 1,000 women?
I mean, now it just sounds like you're bragging on his behalf.
Well, that's what I was going for. I was like, if he was a one-man operator. I mean, at some point, you gotta go, this guy.
Will Chamberlain.
Tip your hat.
Jeffrey Epstein.
You gotta tip your hat at some point. You go, God damn, you got a lot.
Yeah, but he was also...
Hey, no, we don't. No. This nigga saying it. What is like 1,000 up? That's 1,000.
We don't, hey, bro. We don't support the EpiPens. Yeah. Everybody on that list, bro.
Imagine if you just owned a booth in the mall being like, you want to be a model? You could pull Epstein.
Would you like to meet Stephen Hawking?
Oh my God.
It is. I mean, this isn't funny, but like,
how would you like to meet the biggest dorks around the globe?
Well, it's also
in one island.
Crazy to be like having like a gang of like 14-year-old chicks and be like, ladies, meet Stephen Hawking. And they're like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Come here.
Hello, lady. Hello, my precious. Hello, lady. How are you, ladies, this evening? Hey, you don't know about deformities? I'm working with a foot of cock. Although I may be deformed, the dick is not.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, Stardust. We are essentially. What? That's so weird. Oh my God, it's so random.
Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but I just got deleted.
Oh my God.
Must have probably deleted itself, right?
Oh my God, he's good.
Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that.
He used to release the files, redacted everything, didn't realize they used the Adobe shit to where you could just copy it and paste it and you can see everything. And now it's actually out.
Bro, they cleared. Bro, the craziest part about all of that, them niggas like, bro, that's not what that shit say. we copy and pasted it. Bro, nah, bro. Ignore that, bro.
First of all, the craziest part is they released black pages and was like, they'll be happy with this.
Bro. They crazy, and then bro, it's so crazy.
They try to
They playing with y'all face, bro.
Playing in people's face.
We're at the bar, and then Steve leaves.
No, because you were telling me to golf commentate, and then he
And then he jumped in and he's like, that. Steve left, came back, and I was at a different bar, and the drunk guy was there again at another bar. And we watched as the bartender walked over out of nowhere, slammed the guy's tab on the table and said, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. Damn. The guy who wasn't doing anything wrong, he was just blacked out. He just goes,
That's such a perfect.
he couldn't believe it. And then we watched him like figure out should he tip. We saw him fill it out and then go.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't be blackout at a regular bar. Bro, I can't, bro. I can't do it, bro. It don't feel like I should be allowed to do this. Yeah,
I should be outside, bro.
You ever been kicked out?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The thing about me when I'm drunk, bro, I'm very like good. Okay, I disappear, end up driving 60 in the
very good.
I'm very good at disappearing.
Oh, very good at disappearing, yeah.
I'm good at a lot of things, but when I'm drunk, it's like I'm a super soldier.
Aaron Rodgers did not take the vaccine because he predicted it would be bad for him. And then he joined the New York Jets. So maybe he wasn't.
Yeah. I haven't cried like my grandma today.
Right.
That's true.
Really?
Oh my God.
Oh God, sorry.
Yeah, this old woman died. My mom's mom. It was my last grandparent.
Did you
died.
like her?
I couldn't think of one nice memory. My mom and her siblings were around my dying grandma, and she like took her like, and my aunt walked over and like grabbed her head and was like, "Oh, Mom." And then my grandma was like, scared her.
Yeah.
And then she jumped, and then they all started laughing, and my family was laughing.
Yeah.
While my grandma died with her kids around her laughing.
That's great.
What a great one.
That's fucked up.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because she got jump scared by a gurgle. That's nuts.
Bro.
That's nuts, bro.
Best way to go.
What a nice
It's the
thing.
best way to go.
Just laughing their asses off.
Just
She's like,
laughing. Choking.
yeah.
He didn't care about that lady. He did not care about that
Look,
lady, bro.
she and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes.
Oh.
Hey, it really just is the Great Lakes.
I could probably.
They probably want to, they probably want to.
You can name all of them, right? It's
Lake-
easy. It's
Lake-
Holmes.
Lake Michigan.
You just gotta remember Holmes. That's the acronym.
I heard that.
H.
H.
Huron.
Huron, obviously.
O.
Ontario.
M.
Michigan.
E.
Erie.
Erie.
Yep.
S.
That's a period.
It's what the white race is. We got 40 more days of goofing. We're gonna get them in when Trump. The answer's superior. I'm just kidding. That was...
Oh my God! Did you see what he did? Yep. Oh my God! He slid it in there on a slick.
Listen here, America. We're
Listen,
fucking around.
we're done joking. Jokes are done. We promise no more jokes.
True.
So there's an episode where he takes his shirt off. We're doing like a salesman, you know, that Andy Elliott guy that's like,
Yeah.
take your shirt off. You got a fucking fat piece of shit. Which as a fat guy, it's a fucking nightmare. It terrifies me.
That guy is so funny.
He is funny as fuck. But we do like an episode.
Who the fuck is this?
Pretty sure another comedian.
That guy is so funny.
He is funny as fuck. But we do like an episode where we're watching like an Andy Elliott type salesman guy, and he brings the Steve goes on stage and takes his shirt off. And then I'm sitting in the crowd while we're filming it, and he takes his shirt off, and they look like shit. Oh my God! It's not your fault. It was not your fault.
But also, one, I don't actually look good topless. I have like a praying mantis body. Like I have shoulders, so it's very weird to look at. Two, we were like eating like
pigs. It was so funny.
So every day I was having like chicken cheesesteaks and French fries.
I don't blame her. Nah, you said what you said. You got it.
Audible gas when you took your shirt off.
Yeah.
In the crowd, people were like, oh. I had to leave the room. I had to leave the seat.
Shohei Ohtani couldn't make it tonight. Man, I hope his interpreter didn't bet that he was going to be here.
Oh my God!
Shohei is a once-in-a-generation talent. No one's been able to do what he does at so many positions: pitcher, hitter, and bookie.
His people got caught gambling on him, so that's that's the background on that.
A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime.
You know what's crazy?
Talk to me.
Like these gold diggers be really wanting that money,
Bro, they be
like
they be 22 fucking a 70-year-old.
like they really under a court. Like they be because they can marry him, they can put off a lot of it, but eventually you gotta be under the. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Give me a kiss. You gotta hope doggy is their favorite position, bro. Because that's crazy.
They do. They read The Very Horny Caterpillar. The Little Engine That Could But Needed a Pill First. That's the 36 games. Get you one of these. You can look. That's like taking away OJ's Heisman.
True. It's like technically you can take away the hot. But we all know who won.
Yeah, exactly.
We know who won.
Yeah, dude. Come
Say
on.
what you want, but the Germans were flying that year.
Great.
36.
They're all like method stuff. Oh, if you didn't hit the thing.
Black dude.
No. What the fuck are they talking about? Read the bottom. What it say, bro? Read the bottom. Adolf in Germany at the 1930s. Oh, yeah, just go ahead. They took the Olympics back because after they did what they. Yeah.
Sugar Ray.
Hey, just that's another one. That's another one.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Hey, Leonard's here. Hell yeah. Sugar Ray, you're the man, but what? In 10 years, Jake Paul is going to try to knock you out. So take it easy.
In Vegas, I tried to put $10,000 on fucking Nate Diaz. There's a girl at the cellar that's like obsessed with him.
Yeah.
So I like texted him. I was hammered, and I was like, I wouldn't do this otherwise. I was drunk. I was like, fuck it, I'll text Nate.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, dude, will you FaceTime real quick? This girl fucking loves you. And I was like, a minute later, he didn't respond. And I texted him. I was like, I'm so fucking trash. Fuck, I suck so bad. It ruined my night. I was just like, fuck, dude. But then he FaceTimed me, and I was like, oh shit, hold on. And I held it up, and she was like, yeah. And he was like, yo.
That's how he talked to.
Like he was just. Also, he got me for the impression. I think I might have did his impression on Rogan, and he was like, we're in the middle of dinner. He's like, I don't sound like that. And I was just like,
how scared were you in that?
I was like, agreed. 100.
That's a serious motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you right. You don't sound like that.
Nate is the scariest person because Nate, there is no off for him. You in or out the ring?
He's like that.
Bro, that's a scary man, bro. He's like Tyson. He's literally like
there's no turning it off.
Bro. I saw an interview with Mike Tyson, and the dude was asking Mike Tyson about his daughter who passed. And Mike Tyson was like, it was a hard time. It was the hardest time I ever went through. And then a switch went on. And nigga said, bro, I swear, that nigga said, it was the hardest time. You need to leave. You understand me?
Cause he got dark,
bro.
It got dark.
And nigga, I saw that shit. I said, bro, this is the scariest person of all time. And the interviewer was like, yes, Mike. And it was so scary. He looked at one of the production assistants, one of the PAs, like, want to take this off of me? And the production assistant was like, yeah, Mike. You need to leave.
All right. I have not done it since, dude.
He almost did it.
We gotta bleep that, bro. We gotta bleep.
Yo, I don't sound like that. I was just like it, dude. Definitely.
He sounds just like that.
Yeah.
Dude,
he does it and everything. Like, yo, yeah. It's so nice.
Nah, it's great. It's refreshing when they're actually.
Joe Rogan actually wanted me to be here to host this award show so that I could capture Adam Silver because Joe thinks he's an alien. And Donald Trump wanted me to be here to capture Juan Soto for the same reason.
Yo, we just go, hey.
No, wait. That one, I was like, wait. Yeah, because he's on. Yeah, he's not scared to say anything, bro.
Who moved me up there?
I'm just gonna tell you a story real quick. It's not a good joke. It was halftime of the game, and we looked up, and you could see Donald Trump. He was sitting in the suite, like at the 50-yard line. You couldn't see him, but you could see like his silhouette. You know what I mean? He was just. Also, can we stop pretending Donald Trump knows ball? It's like a weird thing where they're like, man, he loves sports. He doesn't know anything about sports. Every time a team comes and visits the White House, he's like, and you must be the guy who catches. It's like, look at these guys, big guys, black guys. And that's just when the New York Liberty visited.
Oh, my God!
Getting fired almost did not even. Like the last episode we recorded, I was like, I think I got some big news coming. And then I got fired so quickly that we could have recorded an episode and been like, never mind.
What?
Never mind. Nothing happened.
Mr. Trump, how do you feel about gay rights?
I like it, but they're going a little overboard with the dancing. A lot of dancing. I don't know about that.
Please, Lord, no more whites on the football field.
All right now. All right. Y'all already know the deal. Gamer subs, you can get it in powder form, caffeinated, non-caffeinated. You know the deal. Or the cans are back. I'm trying to figure out how to enjoy this to its maximum capacity. The cans are back in stock, which is awesome. And they also still got the powder form, both carbonated and non-carbonated. I mean, caffeinated and non-caffeinated. Gotta do the whole thing over again. Anyway, gamersubs.gg/. What, Michael? Come on, man. That's like where you time it. Anyway, gamersubs.gg. What's the code, Michael? Internet City. Use code Internet City. This isn't weird. You're making it weird. Why are you making it weird? You think this can fit up somebody's ass?
Unfortunately, the thing that sucks, I'm undefeated in fights. Never lost. But it's not like I win in a cool way. Like, I have weird strength. It used to be called something different.
Oh my God. Retiga strength. It used to be called Retiga strength. Don't he got... Never mind, I'm not gonna hit that. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm running with that one. I'll put that bitch in the belt. Oh yeah.
Now we're all woke. So it's weird strength now. Until they take away my right to say weird. But no, so I mean I have that kind of strength, so no fight I get in is ever fucking cool. This is what that means. I've never lost a fight, but I've also never not cried in a fight. That's every fight. Every fight is just me getting punched in the face first, and then I cry. And I have one move. I just cry and walk straight at the person. Why would you hit me?
You could, Slim. You could. Bro! Oh, this is funny. Oh, God.
Walk straight at the person. Why would you hit me? I'm going to squeeze it as hard as I can. That's the only move I have.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Why would you say? Video of the teriyaki.
And I try as hard as I can. Which sucks, because when you win a fight, you want to be like, yeah, dude. Like, I've won fights at parties and been like, in your head, you're like, if you win a fight at a party, maybe you'll get some pussy.
Yeah, some bitches.
People will think you're cool, but no chick wants to fuck that guy. No chick's like, oh man, you see that Shrek who cried? Who's that Shrek over
I was so
there that
sad.
cried?
I feel so bad for him. He was so mean what the other guy did to him.
Just walked right at him like an Irish Frankenstein. Yeah.
I'd like to thank Ari and his people for this beautiful weather. Thank you. Ari used to host the show This Is Not Happening, a show named after his comedy career.
Oh.
Ari is edgy and shocking, which is a really cool thing for a 50-year-old guy to be. Isn't it cool? Ari's yoga videos suck and are Ari, it's sad to see you failing like this.
Oh my God! That's supposed to be his homie!
It's a roast.
I know! No, okay, look. Imagine we supposed to re-roast one of our friends, and the jokes ain't, Mikey hairline, so old, it's your career failing, 50-year-old failure, blah, blah, blah. Nigga, we gotta fight.
Theo, my name's Joe, and I'm a big fan from Little Old England.
Why are you whispering?
In my bath. And
Who's
I
in the
have a
bath?
question for Shane. What is his opinion on age gap relationships? Still seems to be okay with the younger woman and the older guy, but not so much the other way.
You freaked out, Cougar. Why you in the tub? You shoot a shot, bro.
So, look forward to hearing your opinions.
She is in the water. That.
Wow, that could be that's somebody's school teacher. She's in the bathtub.
Is that British ASMR in a bathtub?
Yeah.
She's asking me about how I feel about older women.
Yeah.
Would you bring me down here to make me come, dude?
No.
You trying to get me hard? Is this a setup?
No, I've never
This
done
is a
anything like
setup.
that. Huh? No, I've never.
You invite me over here, you put on some ASMR, give me fucking rock hard, give me some water. What are you doing? Make me jerk off? What's that? What does she want?
I'm not. Look,
the question?
No,
How do I feel about older ladies?
I've never seen that question. I've never seen that woman. I'm glad she's staying clean. I don't know that lady. She's attractive. Obviously, I think she's attractive. Look at the suds on her chest a little.
Oh my
I didn't
God.
notice that before. But no, we didn't bring you down here to get anything out of you, man. At all. I mean, just have some information, I guess. What if you just masturbated onto the mic and just left?
What is your question? What is he?
Story.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's funny.
For-
Technically, I do have a pretty fucking sick resume.
Yeah.
Because I played it's D1 football, and then if you join West Point, if you join the Army during active war, you are technically I'm a decorated veteran. That's a medal.
That's sick.
I quit right away. I quit West Point right away, first month. And then, I got SNL. So technically, I'm a Division I football player that is a decorated veteran and was cast on Saturday Night Live. And I didn't do one of those things. But that is my resume, technically. And it's such, I could order the medal. I could get the medal.
You should.
I could order that medal and wear it.
And wear it on your hoodie.
My shitty stained hoodie.
Do you board early on planes?
Yeah.
That's
Do you have your military?
Oh, no. I don't steal valor there. I've been flying first class lately.
That's
Come
my
on,
boy.
baby.
Oh, that's all my fights. I got in a fight in North Carolina. I played college football very briefly. I quit, but when I was still playing, so I was big at the time. I'm big now, but I was like 6'3", 300.
Yeah.
I was benching 350, dude. I was fucking. So imagine that Frankenstein move. Bench 350. I'm like, oh god.
He had real reticular strength.
Yeah.
Oh, he had football reticular
That's
strength.
why, bro, this is real.
No, it was real reticular. Oh my God, he was a lineman.
But we were watching my friends fight, and I played on the football team, so we would fight like the townies. And it was Division I, so all my friends were just jacked black dudes. It was pretty fucking sick. And we would just beat the shit out of these people. It was like Burlington, North Carolina. They were all white trash. And I was standing next to this dude watching my friend fight, and I definitely was just scratching my ass. Or so I was just reaching behind me, and this guy thought I was reaching for a gun. And just right next to me, just socked me in the fucking mouth. This is the coolest thing I've done. I chugged my beer and slammed it. And I was like, you're gonna have to hit me harder than that. And I grabbed him, and I remember he fell perfectly. Like he fell, he fell sitting, facing that way. Like he fell sitting right here, and I just grabbed him by his hair and fucking. People had to pull me off.
Hey, bro, we gonna start right here. Bro, I'm glad you're doing good in life, because you would have been a problem, man. What?
Now, a lot of people are leaving the left right now because every time something so obviously evil happens and the leftist continues being their, evil self, exactly what they were always meant to be, I suppose. It starts to wake people up. People start to be like, wait a second, hold up, we gotta leave. We gotta leave the left. Wait, this is my party. It's pretty awesome, actually. So Destiny, and this is awesome. Destiny says, 33% approval rating, perfect. Send another assassin. Make him collapse in the hall, though. Play the sound effects for 5 shots, but make sure they're completely inexplicable and never reference them again. Kill the assassin. No, wait, actually capture him in perfect health. This is a tweet, basically, this is awesome, because this is a tweet basically saying that the entire thing is staged, and obviously Trump faked an assassination attempt to raise his polling numbers, which is exactly what Biden did, which is why leftists hired Derek Chauvin to kill George Floyd. Yeah, that was staged too, actually. Wasn't it nearly as bad as when leftists hired fake ICE agents to kill Renee Good and Alex Preddy? That was crazy. I couldn't believe that leftists went ahead and did that. Yeah, there's a lot we need to talk about here because it's so obvious, actually, that Jeffrey Epstein was paid by leftists to put Trump in the Epstein files. I was really, really surprised when leftists were paying him to rape children in order to frame Trump. Most obvious false flag ever. Anyway, so the reason why this tweet from Destiny saying that the whole thing is staged is very funny is because he doesn't believe it. You see, the left is actually so cartoonishly evil. Not only do they fully support assassinating Donald Trump, don't let them confuse you. I literally covered in my video yesterday how Destiny was saying that conservatives need to be afraid to go out in public or they'll get killed. Of course they support the assassination of the duly elected Democratic President of the United States of America. They do not believe in thou shalt not murder. So the funny part is, even though he absolutely supports the assassination, without a doubt, in my opinion, he still has to make believe it's staged in order to slander the right wing a little bit more. It's pretty awesome, actually. It's honestly cartoonishly evil stuff. I'm officially convinced it was a hoax. The Trump administration recruited a leftist Kamala Harris voting Trump hater to participate in a staged assassination that would include the shooter getting shot at and then locked in federal prison for the rest of his life. The Kamala Harris voter agreed to this plan. That works against his political and personal interests because he's just like a really generous guy. Wow. Meanwhile, the Trump administration, despite dastardly planning multiple assassination hoaxes, decided to keep their patsy alive and a permanent liability for them rather than just killing him, like they could have easily done. They did this because they are also really strangely generous in a very odd and specific way. So in summary, we have a plot where all parties involved are working against their own interests with no real discernible benefit to any of them. There is no evidence of this plan, and it does not even make any intuitive sense, and the motives for everyone are unclear, if not insane, but I still believe it, because I am a very smart person. That's a very good point there, Matt Walsh. I didn't think of it from that perspective. But now, this tweet is very funny, but the reality is even simpler. You are engaging with them on the good enough faith that you believe that they actually think it's staged. You believing they're retarded was your first flaw. Because they're probably just evil, actually. Now, anyway, Ocasio-Cortez, right? AOC says, there's no place for political violence in our country. This is literally the classic leftoid tactic. It's like, you have to kill Donald Trump. All right? And then someone tries to kill Donald Trump. I oppose violence of all sorts. This is like a leftist teacher slices off the dick of some child that they're trying to socially transition. I condemn all forms of body mutilation. Okay, dude. Very excited to hear the opinion of the pro-life abortionists. Anyway, I'm so relieved that Hitler is safe and sound. I feel like that's just such a good tweet because, you see stuff like this. You don't even know what they mean by this. Like, because AOC calls him Hitler. So saying that you're happy he's not killed implies that you wouldn't want Hitler to get killed. It's the funniest part because, like, it's such an obvious joke. Of course you wanted him to die. Obviously. That's why you keep calling him Hitler, because you want them to kill him. All right, it's pretty wild, right? Yes, my position is that reporters shouldn't get dressed up in a tux to have some laughs with terrible president. I also oppose shooting the president. Wow. Anyway, this is him with Hassan Piker, a guy that advocates for shooting people that you don't like. Anyway, so the left is trying to do some sort of gotcha. Right? This is pretty good. This went super viral. Never forget how we have to tone down the rhetoric guys were moving when Obama was in office. Right? So this is evidence that the right is just as violent as the left because the right-wing rhetoric is just the same as left-wing rhetoric. You ready?
I need your money to kill babies by abortion. You, taxpayer, give me your money to pay for baby killing.
No, I don't believe in abortion.
I don't care. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Give me money to kill babies.
All right, I'll pay you. Don't hit me anymore. Please, kill my baby. Kill my baby.
You, kill that woman's baby.
Yeah, So, first of all, I can't believe Obama survived this, honestly. This is the type of rhetoric that's so insane. I can't believe Obama survived. That's one. And two, where's the lie? That's exactly what he promoted. This is literally happening across our country right now. Our tax dollars are literally being used to kill babies as we speak. Where's the lie? So, A, it's accurate. B, Obama survived, thank God. Anyway, it's so wild watching these people do this. Americans, when it's time to aim at the orange man. Right, so this is a French guy, obviously freaking the shit out that Trump wasn't assassinated. Again, the French guy, so this means he's probably Muslim. Anyway, French people, when it's time to go shopping without getting raped by a Muslim. That's a pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of cooked there. Anywho, anyone else finds it weird how Tucker Carlson is dead silent? Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he supports the assassination. I mean, he calls Trump the Antichrist these days. Not really. He was silent after Charlie got shot. Yeah, probably a coincidence. Probably a coincidence. Anyway, I'm on the side of decency and basic human rights. You had me worried there for a sec. Thank God the left has decency and supports basic human rights. Man, every time the left harasses and slanders the widow of a person that they assassinated, I just think about how grateful I am that they respect women. Yeah, so 22% of liberals under 44 say it's okay to feel happy when a political opponent dies, compared to just 6% of conservatives their age. You know, it's because leftists are immoral psychopaths. Anyway, Michael Knowles says political violence is not a both sides issue. It is not a fringe problem. It comes from the mainstream left. And yes, this is the correct take, actually. He's just completely right, obviously. I love how the responses are like, your guy threatened to wipe out a civilization earlier this month. First of all, did he? Second of all, did that cause a peace treaty? Third of all, it was a fucking tweet. And the reality is the left doesn't actually have a response for something like this, because the violence is basically left-wing. Obviously, you're going to have psychos on the right, you're going to have psychos on the left, but it is actually mainstream policy on the left. The fundamental difference is the left actually supports it ideologically. Not just a mentally ill guy has a crash out, which definitely happens on both sides, because mentally ill people exist. However, it is mainstream policy on the left, actually, that it is the normal stance. Actually, the left will broadly celebrate it, right? When you have a right-wing guy committing a horrible, atrocious act, which has happened, you know, there are mentally ill people, you don't see it celebrated on the right. When you see the most horrible, atrocious act ever being committed on the left, it is celebrated en masse. That just shows the policy is very different. So this guy, Brian Shapiro, you know, he's like, oh, really? And then he lists a whole lot of psychos that shoot people or something. I guess he found 10 examples of right-wing violence throughout all of American history done by individuals and condemned by basically every single person on the right. And in fact, he made this same tweet 100 times. He literally made the same tweet 100 times yesterday. All right, so his response to Donald Trump almost getting assassinated is tweeting 10 examples of when radical far-right people committed horrible acts. I guess that makes it totally okay to kill the president now, right? In fact, I know Brian Shapiro does these debates. I'm willing to debate you on this, man. I'm willing to debate you on left-wing violence. Because while, yeah, I'll cede you, there are a couple of fringe cases of crazies on both sides, I think that institutionally, leftists are just immoral psychopaths. And you can clip this and you can send it to this dipshit, and I'd be more than happy to debate him. I doubt it. Aside from copy-pasting it. You see left-wing violence every day on the TV. You wake up, you read the news, just killed somebody. And so, you know, anyway. And the truth is, they're leaving the left. Because the way the left won the woman vote, for example, is emotional manipulation. Most people aren't really paying attention to politics, and most people, especially women, are more easily to be manipulated through emotional storytelling. And that's what every college does, and that's what every single media outpost does, and that's what every single one of these organizations do. They just hit you with infinite emotional manipulation. Trump is separating families, the refugees that just want a better place to live. We should give infinite free healthcare to people that invaded our country illegally. Oh, the poor mentally ill rapist, we should let him out of jail forever. And this kind of emotional messaging, it does work on people that aren't really reading into politics, don't really know what's going on, but are going with the flow. And unfortunately, a lot of people, especially women, are very consensus-based. They see all of their friends supporting the thing, so they will also support the thing. In fact, they will support the thing so loudly that all their friends appreciate them, congratulate them, and honor them for supporting the thing. So anyway, the emotional blackmail ends the moment reality sets in, the moment these people realize what's actually going on, what they're actually voting for, and that's why so many people are leaving the left whenever this happens. Because they're like, wait a second, the party I'm voting for are immoral psychopaths.
Alright, y'all. I'm officially coming out as a Republican.
Oh, man.
The left has truly swayed me over to the right.
That's right.
And I think they're proud of it too, because all of this stupid controversy going on because of a comment that I made on a TikTok video. The left mob is absolutely losing its mind.
Wow.
And I used to be on the left. I used to be gung-ho LGBT.
That's right.
I was an activist.
They all were. It's all about emotional manipulation. Oh, but the poor gays, the poor gays, the poor gays, the poor trans people. They just want to be able to abuse women in women's bathrooms. And you're gonna stop them from doing that?
For the
all they want to do is live and cut your child's penis off. Are you really gonna stop them from living their dream? Oh God.
LGBT people before gays even had a legal right to marry. I was going out and I was a Glenson representative in my school district. But at this point, I don't want to be associated with the LGBT either.
Hey.
Despite even being gay. Because I can't stand y'all anymore.
Bro, the left is losing the gays.
Like, I make one comment about a grieving mother who was very respectful about how they were referring to their trans child, by the way. They were referring to them as both Michael and Lexi. And in the comments of people that actually knew her child, were referring to her child as Michael. And she was shit on in the comments for referring to her child as her son. Because the left, the trans mob, will never accept that. They can't let a woman who is taking responsibility.
And that is why, ultimately, these are not the type of people you could beat in a marketplace of ideas. Charlie Kirk tried. He was the negotiator, and they killed him. Because they don't actually want to engage with your ideas at all, actually. They just want to kill you. The solution is obviously raising your children in a wholesome, two-parent, God-fearing home, if possible. You know, raising them with proper values and stuff. And also, brutally humiliating the left. They need to be humiliated, publicly shamed, everywhere. Literally everywhere. I think it's super important, actually, to recognize, A, that they're immoral psychopaths, and that it's a psychopath position to be a leftist these days. But also, people need to know. People need to know. Unfortunately, so many people are scared into silence, you don't want to get canceled, etc. But this ultimate breaking of the Overton window is going to destroy the left completely. Because the moment the emotional floodgates open up, that's it. It's over. More and more women are realizing, hold up, I would really like to actually have a husband that takes care of me and children in my life. And following this leftist ideology, it's really making me very miserable, fat, and alone. And everything changes. Everything changes. Nothing radicalizes a woman like getting married. And essentially, we're just seeing this everywhere. We're seeing the gigantic drop-off of leftist ideology everywhere. This is RFK Jr. talking about the vaccines during COVID.
They say, what they're saying, out of 22,000 people, there was one COVID death among the vaccinated, and there was 2 COVID deaths on the unvaccinated. Double. 22,000 people. So, and that allowed them to claim it's 100% effective.
Effective for what? You can't use the word effective.
No, but you remember they kept saying it's 100% effective.
No, they just said it'll negate the severity.
If you go on the internet, you can see Tony Fauci.
And he's right. This is actually true. They all did say that. The narratives are all falling apart and collapsing in real time. All right? And this is what the leftist policy gets you. So this is a bodega owner. All right? He told ABC a year ago that he fears for his safety in New York because of the migrants.
Violence against
and the violence and the looting and stuff.
The workers he'd seen on social media.
People got shot, killed. Sometimes got robbed, and the police never responds quick.
Tonight, the organization is wondering if the person who shot Abdul Salah was someone who shouldn't have been on the street themselves.
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. 1 year ago, this guy goes on the news, on ABC, to say he fears for his safety because of all the violence and the lack of crackdown on stuff like that. And now he's dead. They killed him 1 year later. 1 year later, they killed this guy. He's like, I fear for my life. They don't do anything about it, and now he's dead. And it's crazy. This is Ron DeSantis talking about how, leftist policies to import infinite illegals, that's not actually good. And there's a reason why leftists keep dropping off the illegal alien communities in right-wing states, because they're trying to flip the states. That's ultimately why they're doing this mass immigration shit. It's for control. All right, so Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, came up with this epic strategy. He's gonna start shipping illegals into Democrat areas, and then watch the Democrats try to deport them. Yeah, because they're violent. What? No.
The transporting immigrants to Democratic states, notably, what went on with
Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. So here's the thing. Biden opened the border. I think most people, even a lot of Democrats, agree that was a big mistake, right? Because you have 10 million people. We don't know who these people are. And I get some of the businesses want cheap labor. That's not in the best interest of the United States. So I sent people to the southern border. I was the first state to help Texas. The reality is you're limited in what you can do in that situation if the feds are not going to be supportive. So Biden was literally flying people. He was flying people into Florida. Let's just be clear. He would find people in foreign countries. They would sign up through this app.
He's like, yo, Florida, do you want a nice, wholesome, growing Pakistani community? No. No, Florida does not want that. Please, keep them away.
And then he would fly them into the United States. And I think it was frustrating because it was putting a lot of stress on communities. It's obviously not consistent with the rule of law. I mean, I don't care if you want a lot of...
Also, they rape. Important, little caveat. They rape more. What can I say? What can I say? What can I say? I respect women so much that I don't want them to get raped by migrants.
Immigration, no immigration. We don't want people pouring in illegally. I think everyone can agree with that. So, but how do you get traction on it? And as our view is that the power centers that were more supportive of the policy were in a position they weren't having to deal with the effects of the policy. Some little town in South Texas, they're getting overrun. Some of these others are not. So you had Texas as well, sending to New York City, Chicago. Our thing with Martha's Vineyard was we knew it would be a very sharp contrast. And I didn't know how they were going to react, right? So we did it after Labor Day, so the season had ended. And so they went in, and this was all voluntary. They signed forms, whatever, saying that they wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard. And so they went. And there was 50 of them. They called out the National Guard. They got them off the island the next day. And so I think that showed a lot of people, well, wait a minute. That milieu up there, they're supportive of this. They literally, Martha's Vineyard had an office in their downtown that said, Refugee Welcome Center, nobody is illegal. They had those signs there. I don't think they ever serviced a single person, but that was what was done. So it was an ideological thing, they were doing it, but the minute they had to deal with any of the fallout from it, you did. That did change the narrative on that. Some of the other cities too, but the Martha's Vineyard thing, and I would say if you look in the 2024 election cycle, economy, but border was very close as the #2 issue.
Yeah, and the reality is, that's the craziest part, all right? He sends them into Democrat areas, and then they would get them deported, because it's like, no, we don't actually want these guys in our community. Nothing radicalizes a generation like the rape of a generation of children, all right? And dude, these people are just laughing stocks right now.
By the way, this whole thing they talk about the white culture and, let me tell you, it's all about the white culture, this, and, we have a problem with this. Every one of these guys, as much as they bash the white culture in America, they only marry white people. Kamala Harris's spouse, white. Ilhan Omar's spouse, white. AOC spouse, white. Every one of these guys, you keep talking about them. They're trying to go to that.
What an absolute joke. These people are so pathetic, it's incredible. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a lower court's order which barred Texas' new congressional map. And it looks like Texas is going to be, changing up the districts in order to basically copy Virginia here and get infinite representation in the government. And that's awesome, actually. That's awesome, because we need to destroy leftists because they're evil. So yeah, Brian Shapiro, you could email me. I'd be more than happy to debate you. Actually, it's the left that are evil, moral psychopaths constantly, and that's crazy. To me, we need a device that allows us to identify all of the true fascists so we can round them all up. Here you go. And this is what we're dealing with, man. This is what we're dealing with. I am a decide of decency and basic human rights as he kills you. Just be thankful that you're, the person trying to assassinate you and harass your widow and orphans is going to tell you his pronouns. And ultimately, this is going to get everyone to leave the left because they're fucking evil people, inherently. And people know that, inherently. Unless we get some sort of communist revolution, which hopefully we don't, obviously, but that's what they're working on right now. And they need to be destroyed. Absolutely. Yes, they are immoral, evil people to the core, and it's all of them. Unless they're retarded. They might not know that they're following and supporting evil people. They might have just been manipulated. Which is why I am probably one of the most graceful people out there. I give so much charity to these people. Hey, upside, you might just be a blatant retard and not satanic and evil. If that doesn't prove I'm a nice, generous guy, I don't know what possibly could.
Hacker, please, just come outside. How you doing? Is Martha here? No, she's probably in her
30 days ago, 53-year-old David Callahan killed his girlfriend, Martha, and buried her body in his own backyard. David thinks he's gotten away with his horrific crime. Martha was mentally ill, had few friends, and no one was supposed to come looking for her. Martha's daughter, Kim, was the only person concerned about her mother's whereabouts.
If I come up missing or dead, there's no accident. And he has told her before, I'm gonna get your ass, and nobody's ever gonna find you.
Today, Britain stands at a fork in its crossroads, and its people are asking questions. Now we've got our country back. What actually is it? Who are we, and why?
The best way to find out where Britain's heading is to look behind us into something called history, a sort of rear-view mirror for time. So that's where I'm going, back there.
It's a journey that'll take me the length and width of the country. From the White Cliffs of Dover to the Scottish Highlands of the Scottish Highlands.
On my odyssey, I'll be starting sentences in one location and finishing them in another.
And looking at some of the biggest faces in British history and asking other people's faces about them.
Henry didn't get arrested after he killed his first wife, did he? What sort of mistakes did the Tudor police make that led him to kill again?
All of it taking place in this sceptred isle we call home. So join me, Philomena Kunk, as I take you right up the history of the United Britain of Great Kingdom.
This is Kunk on Britain.
Last week, we discovered how God invented Britain, who the Romans were, and why we went to war with the Roses. But that was just the beginning. By the time the Wars of the Roses ended, Britain was literally on the map, somewhere near the top, showing how important it was.
The British had a firm grasp of the solid parts of the country, like this rock. But there was a load of stuff around the edges that wouldn't do as it was told. It was wet, it was full of fish, and it wouldn't make up its mind how close to the rock it wanted to be.
In this episode, I'll discover how Britain came to rule the waves and invent the empire.
It's a story about events beyond Britain's coastline, so I'll be using the C word a lot. Sea.
This is Hampton Court Palace, a building so impressive it has to be accompanied by harpsichord music.
These days, Hampton Court is open 10 till 4:30 in the winter, 10 till 6 in the summer, with last entry to the maze 45 minutes before closing. Prices start at £18.40 per adult and £9.20 per child. A family ticket will set you back at least £32.30, unless you buy that ticket in the 15th century and your family name is Tudor.
But what do we mean by the word Tudor? Let's ask an expert. What do we mean by the word Tudor?
The word Tudor is quite controversial because the Tudors at the time didn't call themselves Tudor. Tudor is the family name, the Welsh family name of the ancestors on the father's side of King Henry VII. But the only person who calls Henry VII Henry Tudor is Richard III when he's trying to stop him becoming king. And he uses the name Tudor just to mean this is some random Welsh person rather than an appropriate person to replace me as king. So the Tudors don't use the name Tudor very much at all. Some people refer to it as being their family name later on.
Sorry, I had that thing, you know, where your brain stops listening. If the Tudors were the Kardashians of their time, this was their kin. Henry VIII, the kingiest king who ever kinged over Britain.
If you had to draw a king, you'd definitely draw him, although maybe not as well as this, unless you're a 16th century portrait artist.
But what was so great about Henry VIII? Why is he the king we all still remember, unlike, say, Richard V? Well, for one thing, he was fat, so he takes up more room in the memory. But Henry's also memorable for his chronic wife addiction. He had 6 wives, all called Catherine. He was a Catherineaholic, or Catholic for short. He got through so many Catherines, he actually got bored of killing them and had to invent a new way of getting rid of them, called divorce.
The Pope hated divorce, so Henry decided to divorce him. He took back control, broke with Europe, and made up a new religion, which it turns out is easier to do than popes like to pretend.
Henry created the Church of England, didn't he? Did he have to find a British pope?
He didn't need to find a British pope. You could just have bishops. You can just use the bishops and people that you've got in there already.
If you had to find a British pope now, who would you go for?
You couldn't use the Archbishop of Canterbury.
No, you have to have someone else.
Someone from without the church.
Yeah, like Matt Baker of The One Show.
So you're Matt Baker off The One Show.
He's not an obvious choice, you see. That's why I think he'd be good. But the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. Henry VIII kept having a go on new wives because he wanted a boy to pop out of one of them. And eventually one did, called Edward. When Henry died, Edward became king, aged just 9 years old. Edward died aged 15, the youngest anyone had ever died of old age. He was followed as king by Lady Jane Grey. She ruled for 9 glorious days, almost a week. These were among the fastest royals we've ever had. After Jane came this woman, Queen Mary. And there really was something about Mary, but not something funny like Cameron Diaz with all dried spunk in her hair. Mary's something was religious intolerance. She had so many Protestants burnt at the stake, she became known as Bloody Mary, because like the drink, she was horrible. The next queen was Queen Elizabeth, who in the first of many such coincidences appeared just in time for the Elizabethan era. Queen Elizabeth I got a crown screwed on here in Westminster Abbey. Elizabeth I was a new sort of king, in that she was a queen, which meant she got paid less and sat on horses sideways. To stop persecution, Elizabeth allowed her subjects to practice whatever religion they liked, as long as they pretended to be Church of England when asked, like middle-class people do when they want their kids to go to a posh school. During Elizabeth's reign, British culture flourished, especially the world of theatre, which is sadly still with us to this day. The greatest playwright of the age was Will.I.am Shakespeare. It's often said if Shakespeare were alive today, he'd be sending his scripts to television and film companies. It wouldn't make them because they were so long and boring. But while audiences thrilled to the tedious drama of Shakespeare's terrible plays, some pioneering Britons were experiencing real drama by going out exploring.
It was now the British got really into boats, by getting into boats.
Sailors of the time were like spacemen, but on water, exploring the unknown armed only with an engineless wooden car called a boat, and a sort of basic paper sat-nav called a map, which had hardly anything on it, because hardly anything had been found yet. On maps of the sea, did they show the hills? You know, the little moving hills with the white bit on top?
The waves?
Is that what they call the movie in Hills, with the white bits on top?
I think that's what you mean.
Did an explorer ever try to sail into the sky? You know, find a bit of sea that's sort of going up and...
No.
Despite the difficulty, Queen Elizabeth sent a load of sailors over the sea to nick treasure off the Spanish, and then to nick whole countries off whichever brown people were standing on them at the time. The first British explorer to do this was Sir Walter Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh was a great sailor, wasn't he? So why is it today we only remember him for his bikes?
Well, there might have been a connection between that branch of the Raleigh family and the later bike manufacturer, but I very much doubt it. People weren't using cycles of any kind in Sir Walter Raleigh's days.
Oh, really?
So I think we really have to accept that Sir Walter Raleigh was just an expert sailor.
How did Sir Walter Raleigh invent the potato?
Well, he didn't invent the potato in that I don't think anyone actually has ever invented a root vegetable, because they're obviously being cultivated and used by people living in the Americas when he arrived there.
When Sir Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes, was he scared of them?
I think that when Sir Walter Raleigh first saw potatoes, not that we've any documented records on the moment when he first beheld a potato or a field of potatoes, but I don't think he was scared of them. This is a buccaneering character, and I think that he probably was able to take on and manage his emotions whilst engaging with potatoes at first sight.
We still celebrate potatoes to this day by buying and eating them. It's amazing to think that Queen Elizabeth was the first British monarch to be impressed by a baked potato. And the last. Walter Raleigh was big news, but he wasn't quite
They
as
let
big
me
news
keep
as
the gun.
This is Drake's ship, the Golden Hind, which is Tudor for arse gold.
Alright, that
in
was
this
cool.
ship Drake became the first person to circumcise the
Oh,
globe,
hell no, that was
which
funny
is
as
probably
hell.
why this sort of ship is called a clipper. Imagine being on deck in that perilous age. You're in the middle of the ocean, a mighty thunderstorm's brewing. There's a sailor over there, another one over there.
Alright, I'm gonna log out for the
The
night.
king's sailor turning the steering wheel thing.
Take it easy,
Potatoes
guys.
and spare wooden legs rolling around the deck. A seagull